I'd like to call to order the Townsend Conservation Commission meeting for Wednesday, March 11, 7:02 p.m. I have a roll call vote starting with Mike.
Mike Fawcett, present.
James DeRoyan, present.
James Gates, present.
And Pat Juckenberg, present.
Mike, do you mind leading us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pat, I do appreciate you here putting our names on the bag, by the way. I just wanted to make note of
This
that.
meeting is being recorded. Is anyone else recording?
She did that for you too? Just wanted to make sure.
Chairman's additions and or deletions. I am going to add 4.1. Resignation of Pat Tremolo. As sad as we are about it.
Haven't accepted it yet.
I'm sorry, I missed what are you adding there?
Pat's resignation to 4.1 correspondence. I know she hasn't submitted anything formal, but want to make sure she's recognized. Chair report. Anything I have is going to be covered under the agent report. I'm going to assume we don't have any meeting minutes to go over because it's not listed on the agenda.
Those two on the back.
The dates, the agenda, I mean, the meeting minutes, we don't have any?
We don't have any, no.
Okay.
I didn't get the money.
Okay, so we're removing that.
And we're not behind on minutes either, are
Well, we're not,
Yeah.
we're 3 meetings behind, which is the next one, but
we?
we're
Okay.
not out of regulation.
Yeah.
1.7 agent report.
Evening, everyone. I'm gonna start off with the interdepartment referral forms, IDRFs. A couple of these are gonna sound familiar, which they are. 41 Brookline Road, which we're going over tonight. It's a septic replacement that's RDA required, or permit required. Lot 5B, North End Road. That's on the agenda for tonight as well. It's house construction and NOI is required. Next IDRF is 160 North End Road, which is a cabin with a septic system, partially within a wetland buffer, and that's a NOI required.
And that's 160 what again?
160 North End Road.
We did site walk at what number?
5.
We did
5B,
lot 5B,
198.
which is also 190.
198 North End Road, right?
Yes.
What was that cabin? That was Kevin's.
And
Oh,
that'll come up in,
I'm
nothing has been applied for yet, but it will be. 23 Highland Street, there's a septic replacement there with no wetlands involved. Other than that, I have 2 other things to cover. Up there's you know what, first I'll go over the update for the preliminary dam removal design services for Adams. On March 22nd, tentatively, the engineer group from Gomez and Sullivan will be, they're taking some measurements. They're going to do some core samples. Scope of what they're looking at doing as far as collecting data is their field surveys for topographical and bathymetric surveys, sediment probing and sampling, hydrologic and hydraulic analysis, preparation of preliminary design plans and cost estimates.
Kobe, I don't know if you had said, but who's taking lead? This isn't Fish and Game, is this?
Yeah, so it's a conglomerate, a group, but it's the agency that's involved is the DER, which is a Division of Ecological Restoration. That's who the grant is for.
All right, so it's gonna be a collaborative. It could be DER, it could be Fish and Game, it could be,
So there's a lot of partners involved, but certainly DER is the ones that are organizing it.
the lead.
Yeah, so partners include the engineer group, Department of Fish and Game, a couple entities in town, including ourselves, Cemetery and Parks. I'm sure I'm missing a couple, but, Squanicook Greenways, has joined as a partner too, because they are involved with the trestle there.
On the rehab.
Oh, as well as the highway department, so.
Oh, all right. I guess my reference is I'd rather keep in my mind who's taking lead on that, so it's better to understand one.
The DER is taking lead on that.
Okay.
Sandra Lord just asked me to tell you that she's running a bit late.
Okay,
She'll be right up.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
She's late?
I met her in the basement. Tell her what's there.
Up there, there is something for you guys to look at, it's where's the random folder of stuff, thank you. You knew I was gonna ask. There, Jim Smith came to me, he's the supervisor for highway department. He was informing me that they're gonna be doing some work on Route 13, sideway work from the brook that goes over, well, take a look here. From near to Cross Street going up to the police department. So what's involved is that, doing work near that brook, we have to kind of direct them, decide which permit is appropriate for them to file. Is this something that's come up before where the highway department has worked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should just be an RDA, because it's existing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's tearing up existing, replacing.
So there's another section that comes down further that,
Is it gonna be a new section or redoing that? Cause that changes it, that's all.
There's no work being done on the bridge with this plan. It's just the sidewalk, going north on Route 13 up to the police department.
To the school person, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha, good enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything else is on the agenda.
That'll keep us going for
Sandra, do you
For the
mind
whole year.
announcing?
Oh, sure, Sandra Lord, 611.
No, it's 7-11.
Oh, I'm sorry, 711. I don't know what I was thinking of there.
All right.
We think they would change the clocks.
Yeah.
Does anyone know how to turn these chairs lower? 'Cause I know they did to.
Should be little buttons right there.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Did you have anything else, Colby?
found it.
Got it.
You should be in charge
I think
of
everything else is covered on
that.
the
Seating,
agenda.
that's your responsibility.
You want me to double check real quick?
No, just making sure.
Yeah. The grant is on. We have the meeting house,
The what?
yeah, meeting house park. And, yeah, we're good. I know I'm forgetting something, though. What it is.
And I had something in there, I forgot. Well,
It'll come back to you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is my, report from the, Community Preservation Committee not included under anything tonight, or it's not listed?
it wasn't included on anything?
Okay, I didn't think so. I just wanted to double check. Maybe next meeting, maybe.
Yeah,
Okay,
because we have to make sure it's on the agenda.
okay.
So-
I didn't remember reading it, but I
Colby, can you add, a community preservation update?
For next agenda?
Yeah. Yeah, under working session. We probably should do one
Yeah,
for the CR.
Yeah, I'll do that one as well.
You want to, actually block off on the agenda? Okay.
Cause otherwise, we're gonna forget.
Yeah.
So I have another meeting, I think, on, let's see, March
Do we have a
26th.
sign-in sheet for tonight?
Community
What is it for? Community preservation?
Preservation.
Anyone know?
All right, are we good? I wanna keep this movie, or
Oh,
this
I'm
movie,
sorry.
this meeting going.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Oh, it's okay.
2.1, lot 5B, which is number 198 North End Road, map parcel ID 38-14-0, notice of intent, DEP number 308-0727, TWB 2026-002, approximately 7:15 PM, applicant Kenneth Chaplin. Purposes of project for construction of the new single-family house, septic system, driveway, well, and related grading. Part of the construction will take place within 100 feet of bordering vegetated wetlands. I'd like to make a motion to open the hearing. Is there a second?
Second,
Second roll call vote, starting with Mike.
Mike Bott said yes.
James Dorian, yes.
James Gates, yes.
That generally is.
Sandra Ward, yes.
Pursuant to Mass WPA, Towns and Wetlands bylaw, Towns of Concom will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, March 11th, 2026 at approximately 7:15 PM. The hearing will be held virtually via Zoom and in person at Town Hall on a notice of intent filed with Concom by Kenneth Chaplin as TWB 2026-002. The property is located at lot 5B, aka 198 North End Road, map parcel ID 38140. The proposed project is for construction of a new single-family house, septic system, driveway, well, and related grading. Part of the construction will take place within 100 feet of bordering vegetated wetland. Parties wishing to speak in support of or in opposition to this application may do so at the meeting or in writing prior to the meeting. Copies of this application are available for review at Town Hall during business hours. We did have something in writing.
Yes. Put it in there.
I didn't look, I've just,
Was this
And I believe
From the abutter?
The letter is in there.
Is that what it was on the butter concern?
I'm just gonna read it into record.
Okay.
'Cause it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I can read it too. If you want.
If you don't mind.
You're tired.
Okay. This is written from a butter, lot 5B North End Road. I am writing as an abutter to the proposed project at lot 5B North End Road. I fully respect my neighbor's right to develop their property and have no objection to the project in principle. However, I do have concerns regarding potential impacts on my property and would appreciate the commission's help in understanding them. As a homeowner without technical expertise in hydrology, soil science, or wetlands regulation, I am seeking guidance on how this project may affect the protected interests of the Mass Wetland Protection Act. Chapter 131, subsection 40, specifically protection of private water supply and storm damage prevention. My property currently experiences significant surface water runoff originating from the applicant's lot. In addition, my primary source of drinking water is a shallow well located approximately 35 feet from the property line. I respectfully request that the commission consider the following during its review. One, impact on private water supply, given the shallow nature of the well and its proximity to the proposed development and the alterations to the wetland or adjacent upland areas could affect groundwater recharge or quality. I ask that the commission require the applicant to demonstrate that no contamination or depletion of the local water table will result from the project. 2, stormwater management and runoff from the subject property already changes on my lot, and any increase in impervious areas such as driveways or change in grade may further aggravate flooding or erosion. I request that the commission's peer review engineer confirm that post-development peak runoff rates will not exceed pre-development levels, consistent with the Massachusetts stormwater management standards. 3, request for peer review. Given the technical nature of the proposed drainage and grading changes, I respectfully request that the commission engage an independent peer review consultant pursuant to MGL Chapter 4453G to evaluate the project's potential impact on abutting private wells and water problems. I appreciate the commission's time and attention to these concerns, and thank you for the opportunity to participate in the public hearing process. Sincerely, Charles W. Baxter.
What's this address?
224 on the top corner.
Do you have a mailing confirmation?
Yes, that had been emailed to Colby, and my copy.
Colby, we don't even do the green cards anymore. Everything's been moved digitally, right? Everything
No, it's,
for as far as,
no, it's, it comes on one form now. It's a certificate of mailing.
Correct, yes.
and that stays in your
Or it should be in the folder.
coffers.
It
Okay.
should be attached to the end.
Yep, that was,
I have the list
I know,
of
that was,
butters.
Jack emailed that to you, Colby, when he sent you the plan and a couple of other pieces of information.
Okay.
Or no, wait, that, Jack emailed,
Only because it falls
Jack
under the clerk.
emailed Balsam, but yes, it was, they are on the abutters list and, were emailed, or not emailed, they were mailed.
And they were received.
It was mailed.
Okay, so do we have a copy, do we have confirmation that these were received? Because I don't want to get jammed up. That's what it comes down to. And then Frank from Dillis and Roy you send everything. Or you can start while he looks.
Yeah.
I'm also checking. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay, thank you. Once again, my name is Frank McPartlin from Dillis and Roy. Here representing Mass DEP file number 308-0727, Lot 5B North End Road on Townsend, Mass, which is, site is located just north of 198 North End Road on a newly created A&R lot, which was endorsed by the Townsend Planning Board and filed as Plan 52 of 2026. Here on behalf of the applicant, Ken Chaplin. The proposed project is the construction of a new single-family house with septic system, driveway, well, and associated site grading. There is a proposed gravel driveway that will follow existing gravel access from North End Road. The site is located just north of 198 North End Road. We checked off that it is within the Squantisit ACEEC, like most of Townsend north of Route 119. There's no, the ACEEC has no restrictions on single-family houses. It is also, we checked the box that it's in the Nissitissit Outstanding Resource Water area, on Mass Mapper. So it's within the polygon. However, what Mass Mapper and Mass GIS notes is that areas delineated within that polygon are not themselves outstanding resource water bodies, and only certain waters within those ORWs within those polygons is designated as ORW. So the work for this project, there's a Mass GIS shows a DEP hydrologic connection about 300 feet west of North End Road. So kind of way down here on the plan.
Going down North End Road?
It's west,
Colby,
Okay.
west of North End Road.
I don't know if it's Hartley, but can Colby have screen sharing, please?
Yeah, he's down there.
It's Hartley?
Yeah.
The work itself stops about 160 feet from North End Road. So 140 feet from North End Road. So there's still another 160 feet before you get to what DEP is showing as a hydrologic connection. They're not showing any perennial streams. They're not showing any intermittent streams anywhere near the project. So this is just uphill of an outstanding resource water body. And again, it's a single family house. There are no restrictions on single family houses within the outstanding resource water body polygon. As the meeting notice said,
Done with this or something?
there's work occurring within the 100-foot buffer zone of the bordering vegetated wetlands on the property. There is no work proposed within the 30-foot no disturbance zone. Erosion controls are proposed along portions of the no disturb zone. In orange here on this plan, kind of following the 35-foot no disturb zone, and then we move away from it and primarily stay outside of the 50-foot buffer.
And it's in orange.
It's color coded.
Color coded.
Well,
We are
don't worry, there's
proposing.
stuff to pick apart here soon.
Yep, we are proposing about 677 square feet of gravel driveway within the 50-foot buffer zone. That is the kind of the northernmost bit of work for the project.
So that's an increase of how many feet of non-pervious?
So that is 677 square feet of gravel driveway, not paved.
Right,
Yep.
non-pervious.
No, it's pervious, gravel's pervious.
I mean, all right, so it's not gonna be tarred. In other words,
No.
you're gonna maintain the original gravel
They're gonna
and continue it.
maintain gravel access.
Okay, I flipped my words for a second, I'm sorry.
Understandable. The applicant has no intent of paving the driveway.
Okay, okay then.
In this,
Good.
the house, the proposed well, and the proposed septic tank, and then associated site grading are all within the 50 to 100 foot buffer.
No, I know.
So,
The septic system itself is outside of jurisdictional areas for the commission. That's located completely outside of the 100 foot buffer. Mass DEP had no comments on the project. The project is not subject to a Townsend stormwater permit. We're disturbing less than an acre for a single family house.
40,000 square feet.
40,000, builder's acre.
Yeah,
All right.
which is 40,000.
Builder's acre is 40,000. I said 1 acre, which is, if you don't specify, is 42,000. And then
See,
words, we're not subject to Mass DEP stormwater standards as a single family house. I do know the project has been before the Board of Health, and I believe we have that permit in hand. We meet, as you know, kind of stepping back big picture on the way that this was laid out, we meet all required setbacks from any abutting wells, any proposed wells for the septic system. It meets all required setbacks for property lines. So, kind of by default, by meeting those, and any of those setbacks, we've met the state requirements for impacts to abutting lots with the septic system. The proposed house itself is, located kind of on the northeasterly of the septic system, closer to the wetlands, yes, but, most of the grading around the house will be directing runoff back that way.
Behind the house?
Back to behind the house, yes.
So you can see, please.
Yeah.
No, I'll share.
So there is kind of a topographical ridge running along, parallel to North End Road, all along the frontage. So most of the, oh no, wait, I'm looking at it backwards. That is a bit of a swale, yes.
Yeah.
But by the siting of the septic system and then the way that's pitched, that will be pitching water kind of more northerly away from North End Road.
Did I read it right? What, is this being higher ridged?
So
It's all
it's,
sloped, it's just sloped away.
Yeah.
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 Did you say that eventually this slopes up?
no,
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 misunderstood then.
downhill wetlands, yes.
So this existing well radius that you have marked out on the plan, that's the neighbor's well, and that's the dug well that he's referencing?
I am not sure. So that I think is the well.
Baxter would be this
It would be
way.
on the other side.
No,
The other side.
the property's odd. So, that would be across the street on the other side. That's not on the.
Charles
plan.
Baxter residence is on the other side of North End?
No.
It was on the,
It's on the same, I thought it was 221. Is it
So we're looking at the
224?
new house, and that would be to the right, where the cut is, where the water flow
on
is,
the other side of the stream.
where you guys walked over to.
224, correct. 224 would be, north of this house. It looks like it would be the last property before New Hampshire. On the other side of the wetlands.
This is the new house one,
Yeah,
and his well to his house is to the other side,
To the north of the
complete
wetlands.
separation where that water flow is, and that is a perennial, what?
No.
It's a non-named,
Unnamed, it's,
and it's
there's a
considered,
DEP hydraulic connection. But there are no perennial streams, no intermittent streams. We just have bordering vegetated wetlands here.
all right, so, but it does have a culvert with the water coming from across the street.
Yes,
But it's
but
not,
that's of no impact to,
okay,
It is a stream, whether it's designated one or not, it is.
it's lowercase,
Yeah.
yes.
so in other words, we're not
It was
declaring
flowing.
it as a drainage ditch. It has to be viewed as a flow, an area of potential intermittent on and off water flow. Because there is a culvert there and it is consistent and it does have enough flow to justify such, so I'm done, go
so it's
ahead.
considered an intermittent stream.
Doesn't it have to have some degree of, as an intermittent?
No, it dries up. It will dry out.
Correct. And
Well, it was flowing pretty well the other day,
But
you know,
that's
but it was
because
all
there was snow.
the snow went off, you know.
But during times of non-drought,
Mm-hmm.
and no water flows observed for what, three or five
Yeah.
consecutive days. That's the easiest way to determine it.
Right, and I can totally believe that, based on the amount of water that was going in and.
Well, no, there was one that was changed up on Barker Hill that,
Yes, it
went from
was.
perennial to intermittent because of that. So
Okay.
I don't think I'm,
Yeah,
we need a
Get,
decision.
no, I don't
Yeah,
get,
you can go both ways, but, correct.
but what
This
my
is-
question and point being is that we want to address the concerns that he has as the abutter.
Well, hold on, there's only, so the private water supply, yes. The stormwater, we can't touch.
Correct. I'm referring back to the separation of that drainage ditch in between his house, the abutters and his concerns with his water and whatnot, I don't see the impact of it, and if him putting a well in with that separation.
Correct.
Or runoff to it. I'm good.
So,
From experience, your experience and not mine, obviously, how often does the groundwater hydrology change the flows? And does it change it that much? I mean, there's gonna be a foundation there.
yeah, right, and you have a foundation in an area that, you know, it's just one thing, it's not like you're doing something continuous
Right.
that, where you could essentially.
Well, I guess the other way of asking the question, in your opinion, do you see there's any chance that it's gonna change the groundwater flow?
Well, you
might
gotta run that
impact it.
foundation drain out somewhere.
Right, the foundation will have a drain downhill away from the property, so, and any water intercepted by a foundation drain will find its way back to where it was going.
You have to measure it in order to do measuring, you know, measure the groundwater movement, you have to have, observation wells. And that's not something you see.
That's a significant impact
Yeah.
well beyond the scope of a single family.
My question was basically to understand, is it going to potentially affect anything to the abutters with their well and their water, you know, stormwater management, or I'm okay with private water supply, and that worries me. That's all. It should be something anybody that is next door to somebody concerns themselves about losing water. That's some, you know, just
You know,
wanted to ask the question to have it addressed, so it's
you've got
discussed.
elevation change, you know, this top, the septic is, 6 feet higher than what's there currently.
Correct.
You know, so any water that comes down off that hill is gonna just be shed around everything.
Colby, do you have any input for that?
I'd say, and
I
just,
did turn around because I heard you make a little noise.
What?
Finally got it to work, I'm sure I didn't know.
Oh, did you have something, what is your input upon what Jimmy just said
Read it quickly then.
about affecting the water, the neighbor's water? And
I'm good.
I don't understand.
Well, it's really for the Board of Health to.
That's why I just looked at you and said, go with it.
Your role is to, assess whether or not any Wetland Protection Act's, regulations are, not being followed. The Board of Health has the responsibility to determine if, you know, it's gonna affect, the neighbor's, well water or water source.
what about the intermittent stream?
The intermittent
It's,
stream.
we're away from that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it does not, I checked it on Stream Stats, which is available to anyone who wants to look it up. But it doesn't meet the requirements to consider it a perennial stream because it has less than a square mile of area of watershed. And it also does not have so that's one. If it has a square mile of watershed area, it has to be considered a perennial stream, even if it dries up.
okay.
If it doesn't, there's another threshold. It can be of half an acre of watershed with a 0.01. I always get this messed.
But as Jimmy just said, we're beyond that, so we understand where we stand in
And it
that.
doesn't have a half mile either of watershed.
I just wanted to double check.
And just knowing the area, a bit, I know that it dries up in the summertime as well. Even though there are established banks there, but, with some undercutting and a gravel bottom, it's still dry up in the summer, in the dry months.
So, we don't have a stockpile location, or proposed stockpile location on this plan.
No stockpile location?
Prior-
Um,
I'm checking my notes now to see if that's called out to the outside of the buffer. So sedimentation note 6,
yeah, no, we like it on the plan.
soil stockpile should be stabilized to prevent erosion. No materials subject to erosion shall be stockpiled overnight within 100 feet of wetland unless covered.
Right, but our regulations, our plan, requirements, it's just request the location so that everyone's on the same page of where the file's gonna be.
Yep.
So that needs to get located on the plan. The foundation drain should also be
Yes,
located. And I feel that if you remember.
and
like,
direction.
What? Well,
And
yeah.
It'll demonstrate
But
direction.
you remember the
It'll
wetland
demonstrate.
placards, or the things that we put
Mhm.
on, one of the last building lots that we did on Shirley Road?
Yeah, 33,
I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Colby can show you what they look like. Actually, I think, I don't remember, it might have been Chris that did, amended a plan with them. But it's just a 35-foot, sign,
NDR.
little sign that says, 35 feet or wetland, blah, blah, blah. And we've been trying to,
We just bought a bunch of those placards, didn't we, Colby? Or
We have a bunch.
yeah, so we
okay.
have them, we will provide
You
them.
provide them,
Right.
do they go on, is it like a wooden post
No,
or
just the tree, with
Oh,
the
oh.
aluminum nail and,
Okay.
don't pound it in all the way, but
if there's not much vegetation out here from what I
there
saw,
isn't.
as far as the,
Yeah.
street view that is kind of an open grass area.
So that was my next question is what's there right now?
Um,
Because the limit of clearing should be
Right, so
established.
there's no real clearing. The limit of work itself will be the erosion control barrier, which is shown on the plans.
Okay.
I think there's, from what I saw, there was one tree up by where the reserve trench label is, but that's well outside of your jurisdiction.
So,
There's no tree line or clearing line for this.
so
No,
I do
it's
feel that
Open.
based on proximity of the wetland and just the elevation changes for everything, it should be more than just raw wattle and, also include, silt fence, but I'd like to discuss with the commissioners and we start with, just go around the table.
So it'd be straw bales?
No, silt
Well,
fence.
instead of
silt
just
fence-
wattles, it would
Well,
be-
yeah,
yeah.
silt fence and straw
Yeah,
wattle.
yeah. No, I agree. I mean, and that would help to alleviate the concerns, I hope, of the neighbors, even if it's a legitimate concern or not. So I think that's reasonable.
Jimmy, your thoughts on?
Anytime we talk about upgrading anything on silt or water and erosion control, I'll always go with putting some silt up with the straw wattles. Countersunk, 4 to 6.
Installed correctly, yes.
I was trying to use that word.
Pat, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's something that we seem to always do and should continue to do, just to make everyone feel comfortable in the work that's being done, whether it's your neighbor or whoever, so I think we should continue.
Sandra?
Sounds like it's a reasonable thing to do. I haven't been here very long, but I'm catching on a little bit more each time.
Two things. One,
Oh, stop.
while you're modifying this, maybe you could put these color-coded lines in the legend as well.
Yeah.
Oh, we were
Look at
gonna, well, we'll save that, don't worry, Mike, we won't.
No,
Well, it's,
Well,
you know,
you're sharing your
there was-
screen right now.
You talk about where you're gonna put the silver.
We saw that coming
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, that was done, this was done for me and handed to me.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't get to put that, that same
Okay.
exhibit legend added to the.
And the other
plan.
question, which may be relevant, maybe not, is, okay, it's proposed, that it'll be sort of permanent gravel driveway. If the owner eventually decides to pave it, would the owner have to come in front of us? Because it's,
I would say yes,
Mhm.
because, and any work that you do within a jurisdictional, a zone within the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission, you're supposed to come
That-
forward and do
That
that.
would
Well,
come in front of
so
us.
part of, and to add to Mike's comment, right now it's considered, a pervious surface. When you transition to that impervious, there has to be something that catches the water. Another thing is on the back side of the house, some sort of drip edge, to catch that water and to get it to recharge into the ground.
So is this one of those things where you can make, is it gonna be made like a condition of you don't pave it ever, or just, they would have to come back before the board at once?
In normal
The
process.
project's the proposed project, is, would be a gravel driveway, so if at a later date they wanted to either amend the orders of conditions and request that.
Okay. Oh, question, are they gonna know that? Or is that gonna be in some of the paperwork that they're gonna receive? That's,
It might be helpful to have that as a condition
Order of
in the order.
condition.
Yeah, special order.
Put it in on
Yeah.
a special
Or
order.
special condition,
Would
yeah.
it have to be a special order of conditions? Yes.
It would just be one in the special.
So in other
In the
words,
special section, yeah.
it travels through
Mhm.
to the next owner and the owner is aware of.
Hopefully they read it, yes.
We've seen that.
Mhm.
Owners that,
Well,
I
that-
didn't know I couldn't.
That doesn't
tar."
travel the owner, because once the permit's closed out,
It will,
it doesn't just
it
show up.
doesn't,
There's still
it
a
doesn't
document.
maintain on the
There is,
documents.
but you have to go look.
So it's attached to the deed.
That's what I'm
The
saying.
order condition is attached to the deed.
Yeah, but until
And
until it's closed
I think it's
or
still attached.
completed.
I think it's,
And then it's
I agree. I think it is attached because we've gone this gambit before about things following
Okay.
the building permit,
Again, to
on the
answer
deed,
the
order of
question
conditions,
that-
et cetera.
And
Both of you had
And
is,
your valid point,
yeah, because,
if a future homeowner does something properly,
right,
they will be here. They will be before you if they want to pave this or make any changes.
so it'll be in their ownership documentation somewhere that, if,
I think we're getting squirrely here. I don't,
then just let it go. With this homeowner, it's not gonna be tarred as it stands then. I mean, simple as that.
Correct.
so we could talk or go around again, but Mike, I know you tear apart plans more than I do. Do you see anything else missing that needs to be included?
I don't,
You missed the stockpile.
what's that?
You missed the stockpile on the maps.
Oh.
I'm good.
Um,
We were almost nitpicking.
No. You're upland from a wetland, but you're in an existing field, so it's, yeah. And, we read the letter into record. The majority of the letter refers to stormwater stuff that is not our jurisdiction. And all the requirements are met for, setbacks, so can't really hold anyone back.
Right.
Pat, do you have anything you wanna ask or add, or?
no, so,
I'm okay with that.
I'm sorry to say.
Oh, no,
Sandra?
it's okay.
Do you have
Um,
questions, thoughts?
My thought is going, I'm sorry, I don't mean to go back to this, but
No?
as a condition, maybe, I still would like to have it stated that to be not tarred, is that the,
Well, we're not,
Through the ownership of this house at this point in time, it can't be,
well,
Right.
no, unless
it
they
will
call
be
a permit.
implemented to some degree into the documentation.
No, yes, but
Right.
you're both on the same page.
Correct.
okay, we're just saying it in different ways, I guess?
Maybe, but I'm gonna motion to continue this, because the plan isn't complete.
Incompletion.
That was gonna be my question,
Okay.
is were these conditions of approval, or were these items that where I should be requesting continuance from the commission so that I can make these revisions? And then come back?
I mean, I'm okay with what I
I think
listed
we
out.
need to just continue it to the next meeting so that these items can be added, and
Yeah,
then they're on the plan, then we can
Okay.
see where you're planning on putting the stockpile.
Yep.
Cause you're gonna strip loam off this, there's gonna be a significant amount of loam.
Mhm.
You know, in your, just. Yeah, other than that, I don't,
So we have, what, three or four things to,
Yeah, my list that I have is a stockpile location.
on the plans.
Found, shown graphically.
Yep.
A foundation drain, indicated on the plan, wetland
Yeah.
placard.
yeah, I don't know
along the
how we're gonna do that
35-foot,
though.
With the placard.
Well, yeah, cause it's all fields or meadows,
Then we can go back to the usual
or do you
four
post
by
in the
four,
ground? Yeah.
4x4 PT post
And do
captive.
a post,
That's simple enough.
I've done with other clients in other towns, we've done boulders, I don't know if they're gonna be boulders on site here.
It's
What's
an
a
old
big
farm.
Yeah.
Would some kind of delineation be sufficient, or do you think it needs to be the placard?
I'm okay with the delineation. But
Well, okay,
a
well,
placard
now's
is
the
an
time to
easy-
discuss it, how,
It's up to other, I'm comfortable if a placard doesn't go up. I'm not seeing putting one of the placards on a rock, it'll disappear. If
Yeah.
you're not gonna get it to a tree, it's gonna disappear. So that's my quick comments. I don't wanna get, jammed up on this. I mean, if we want to, it's easy to put a 4x4 post in, put one of the placards in.
I think that's a better way to do it, because if you do it, so the silt fence is right against the 35-foot buffer on the side of the driveway, the north side of the driveway.
So you're looking here.
But then you get into the area that's not being disturbed, that they should be included in.
If we get 1 and 2 in,
And then 3. But see how it follows it, that's why.
going into
and
a field area. This is over to the wood edge in near the
I'll-
downs. So,
I'll propose it with as kind of as straight lines as I can. We're not gonna, but because these are radii, I'm not gonna hit every
Yeah.
point,
yeah,
but
that's fine.
we'll,
And we don't
I'll
need,
propose something, and if anything different comes back from my client, I'll reach out to Cole close
Yeah.
at a time before my plans go in. So
yeah,
we'll,
and I don't know, I think we looked it up one day, every 200 feet or something.
It
doesn't
was-
have to be-
I've done this a half dozen ways, and we'll come up with something that.
We get
cleans
1
it.
or 2 of them in a post, so it's marked.
Not one or two.
No, there's, I can see.
I just,
I can, I'm not gonna commit to a number tonight, but it'll be more than 2 or 3.
so, another question to this that probably should just be discussed is, does your client expect to do maintenance? Cause it's an existing field, so does he plan on doing maintenance out there throughout the year? And if he does, what's that gonna look like?
Are you is that in an active hayfield, in other words?
I don't know.
You're referring it to?
You went to the sidewalk, Mike,
I
went to it. There was a foot of snow there, still probably.
It was starting to melt, yeah.
I will find out from my client what if anything is else will be going on the property, because this is a lot that was carved off of his
I don't
property
think
that's
so,
being
only
sold, so.
because the piece of property next door, that's up for sale. I do not see it as an active, hay operation. I'm
I
trying to
wasn't
remember.
thinking okay. I was just thinking someone might want
Who's gonna brush hog it,
Once a
keep it
year or
clean,
something.
keep it opened up, so it doesn't go to fallow.
to,
I don't think that's
turn
our-
it, we don't wanna see it get turned into turf grass.
I don't think we have that control over that indecision, do we?
Yeah, it's within the 35-foot buffer, it does, or even 100 foot.
Within the buffers.
It's, I'm talking the outside of where they're gonna be working.
If that's just gonna be, I assume that's gonna get
So,
mowed.
so I,
That's homeowner maintenance.
I should delineate on this next revised plan, because I'm coming back with a revised plan
Yeah,
anyway. Limit of,
okay.
limit of seating, and I'll provide a delineation between kind of a turf grass and if there's any plan to, like whether a
So in
conservation
other
mix
words-
or something else, where we'll.
In the
No,
35-foot no disturb, let's maintain that 35-foot
No,
no
I'm not saying
disturb, or
they
are you
have to do
worried about
anything.
just homeowner?
Are they, one of the things that people do is they like maintain their property, that's not gonna just become woodlands overnight, it's gonna. Are they going to brush hog it once they, brush hog it? And if they are, we probably should, discuss it,
It would be an activity
Wrong,
within your
sure.
jurisdiction that should be discussed and part of,
Yeah.
and part of a permit.
Can I ask Colby, when we went down to the stream, how
I'm not
Why
trying
was-
to, I don't wanna overthink it either.
How wide was the buffer of trees?
I would say easily 35 feet.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, that's what that's
Yeah.
one of the things I asked, Pat, you raised your hand.
I did, because I wondered why, if we're discussing this person's property, why isn't they here to answer
They
questions?
hired him.
Cause they hired me to,
Well, I
yeah.
know, but you don't have the answers to all the things, so you
No.
don't know what he's gonna really do. That's why we're bringing
correct,
this
and
up.
I didn't think to ask at the time, and more importantly, it's, what is the future property owner here going to,
Exactly.
allowed
We
to do.
can't predict
So
what the.
it's not what the applicant, Ken Chaplin, is gonna do within your
House is
jurisdictional
being
areas
sold.
beyond what's on the plan. It's so, I have an idea for providing a nice clean delineation.
And we don't wanna
And I-
overcomplicate
Yeah.
it, but we don't need to get phone calls saying, so-and-so's mowing this area that's 35 feet from the water.
I've been here in front of the commission on other properties where that's been the case. And there's been mowing
But if it's.
right up to
Yeah.
the buffer zone, and I don't
But
wanna,
it's existing, you did that with Corey Patterson.
I didn't wanna say a name.
Whatever.
Yeah, I
Sounds
know,
it.
I know, yeah, yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
was trying
So,
to say.
but yeah, so, I will,
It sounds it, right?
I'm revising the plan anyway, we'll propose.
So you'll
We
be
just
able
wanna
to
make
put
sure that-
something
yeah,
in
like-
accordingly.
And we've
Yeah.
also had other experiences
Yeah.
where people have cleared way too much. And you're like, what did you do? Why did you do that?
I have had a client tell me that I thought I was supposed to stop at the blue flags.
That's a good one.
And then I
That's
said
a
to
good
him,
one.
why is this blue flag 20 feet back, the stumps keep, yeah. So, and I don't wanna get too far into that.
I thought the
weeds.
blue flags meant
Alright,
mow.
So,
That's good.
What's that?
I just want to add to the file.
Oh, thank you.
So we're saying we don't want them to mow right up to the.
Well, yeah.
well, yeah, so
Well, it can't without cutting down trees.
And there's that
Yeah, I was
answer too,
wondering,
so.
yeah.
I will have
Your
a limit
blue
of work,
flags are
limited
wetlands,
disturbance,
so
limit
you
of,
don't get into that.
kind of a limit of improvement on the plan
Okay.
discussed with the
Okay.
client, so.
So,
Yeah.
with that said, I make a motion to continue this hearing for PUV file number 308-0727, TWB 2026-002 for, lot 5B, 198 North End Road to our March 25th, 2026 meeting. For a second,
Second,
roll call vote starting with
Mike
Mike,
Hart said yes.
James Duran, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Okay.
Shall I say anything? I wasn't here.
Of course you can, you count.
Pat Jamal, yes.
Sandra Wood, yes.
Okay, so we're all set. He has this stuff to do, Leo has.
Thank you, Frank.
You're welcome, thank you. areas.
So are we continuing at the next meeting? Is that what we're doing? Okay.
All the different things that Frank just
Yeah.
listed that we,
And then that's when we can list our special conditions.
Okay.
right,
Because those are in the document, not on the plan.
limits of mowing, limits of clearing, blah, blah, blah. And Kobe did have the cards.
Yep.
So those are
Yes,
all
he did.
set. Just down, it's a clerk thing.
We're only 15 minutes late.
Are we late? Hurry up.
2.2, 1 Balsam Drive, map, parcel ID 53B-216-0, NOI, DEP file number 308-0728, TWB 2026-003, approximately 7:45, it's now 7:58. Applicant, James Berson, proposes a project for a septic system replacement. Part of the construction will take place within a riverfront area and 100 feet of a bordering vegetated wetland. And I have a motion, or I make a motion to open the hearing at 7:58. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mike Watson, yes?
James Doreen, yes?
James Gates, yes.
Pat Noel, yes.
Sandra Wood, yes.
All right, thank you very, very much.
Well, I just
Oh,
gotta
you
read
gotta
the
read your thing.
legal.
That's
Yeah, and then we
just
gotta
did
make
this.
sure our butters. Pursuant to the Mass WPA and Townsend Wetlands bylaw, Townsend Concom will hold a public hearing Wednesday, March 11th, 2026 at approximately 7:45 PM. The hearing will be held via Zoom and in person town hall on a notice of intent filed with Concom by James Person as TWB 2026-003. The property is located at 1 Balsam Drive, map parcel ID 53B-216-0. The proposed project is for the construction of a replacement septic system. Part of the construction will take place within a riverfront area and 100 feet of a bordering vegetated wetland. Parties wishing to speak in support of or in opposition to this application may do so at the meeting or in writing prior to the meeting. Copies of the application are available for review at town hall during business hours. Colby, do you know if the sheet was,
Certificate of.
Yeah.
Just looking at
This is the one that was, that Jack emailed you, Colby.
it, yeah. Certificate of
Okay.
But yes, I will print it. As soon as you don't need the second.
thanks for joining us again.
All right, thank you. Once again, Frank and Cartland with Dillis and Roy, here on behalf of Mass DEP file number 308-0728, 1 Balsam Drive in Townsend, Massachusetts, for the applicant James Burson. The proposed project is the construction of a replacement septic system and involves the installation of a 1,500-gallon septic tank, a new leaching facility sized for 4 bedrooms, and associated regrading. This is a septic repair project approved by the Board of Health. On-site jurisdictional areas include 50-foot, 100-foot wetland buffers, along with a 35-foot wetland buffer, which is not on this exhibit plan in front of you, but I've provided a copy to Colby, which is up on the screen, which does have that.
Frank, I don't mean to interrupt. You said the replacement of a 1,500 tank?
Replacement of a septic system. So right now,
You mentioned tank. I think it was mentioned it was a 2,500.
2,500, correct.
It was from a 15 to a 25, correct?
25, and that may have been a revision from the Board of Health. But I do see the plan say a 2-compartment, 2,500 gallon
Double.
tank.
Yeah, the only
compartment.
revision
Yeah.
on this is stone depth.
The original application had said 1,500,
Right, but
so,
on the sidewalk, we discussed it was gonna be a split tank, 2,500.
understood.
but you just I just wanted to correct it on it. You
Thank
said
you.
1,500, we're looking at split 25.
Split to
On the
25, correct.
sidewalk, if it's changed.
And the plans are consistent with that, and the commission does have those same plans.
Good. Sorry
Yeah.
for the interruption.
Nope, I appreciate it. Yeah, on-site jurisdictional areas include the 35-foot no disturb, 50-foot and 100-foot wetland buffers, and 100-foot and 200-foot riparian zones associated with tributary A of the Witch Brook, which flows, I believe, easterly, which is this direction.
To our back, to the right of the property, looking at it from Balsam.
The entirety of the replacement leaching facility, including pipes and the overdig, is located outside of the 50-foot wetland buffer, and is therefore presumed to protect the 8 interests of the Wetland Protection Act, and MGL 131, Section 40, which covers the removal, fill, dredging, or altering of land bordering waters. So because this is a septic system that is 50 feet outside of the buffers, basically by state code, it meets the Wetland Protection Act and satisfies all those conditions.
Leach field from maybe possibly going under the driveway to the front of the house,
Correct, yes.
which was far more appealing to me, even if it was getting closer to the wetlands.
Mhm.
So, once again, I apologize for the interruption.
Any
Kinda.
comment is appreciated. Mass DEP did have a comment regarding the zone AE flood zone. We had shown it graphically pulled off of the FEMA maps. They had stated that it should be shown based on elevation. Our project had been plotted on an assumed datum. So we had an assumed datum of 200 feet up at the top of the property. It wasn't mapped to any state plane datum. When we looked at the
because it was part of the revisions that they just did.
Yeah.
So they really all kind of haven't even gotten to us yet.
Yes,
They're still trickling.
no, it was a guess. Based on their computer modeling.
However, they
On
do,
old modeling.
their mapping does provide an elevation. And when you adjust our assumed datum to the state elevation datum, it's either 88 or 83, I always get them confused. The flood elevation is at 268.4, and our septic repair is at 275. So we're basically 7 feet up and above floodplain elevation, well outside of it. Thank you. And this blue line, the edge of this blue line here is approximately 268.4. If you
So
You
there's
turn on the
something wrong
contours?
here, 'cause your elevations on the plans aren't 260 anything,
no, they're not. They're an assumed datum.
Okay, sorry.
Yep. So what I just Colby, if you could turn on the contours.
I'm trying.
Yep. Thank you.
Cross your fingers.
Yep.
Now, Frank, haven't all the FEMA plans changed for the flood zone?
Yes, the FEMA
Just
maps in
last-
many of the towns were changed in July of 2025.
25 last.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was when
Over the summer.
Cook Meadows was changed.
Further down.
I see it.
Yeah, through.
Yeah.
Further
So
down. Yeah. Yeah.
up here on
So-
Mass Mapper, you can see these contours. I know they're gonna be tough, but, so 276, 277 existing in the front yard where the septic system is going. And then 276, 5, 4, 270, and then below that, probably 268.
Wow. Closer and closer.
Yep, so. Might be a little better.
At least it's visible.
Yeah. So, what these show is there's a significant slope, a significant drop down to the floodplain, and we are 7 or 8 feet above it.
You could see it
So
from
we're-
the sidewalk.
And it's very well illustrated on the
Correct.
sidewalk. This area here is where that, what's called the existing pool that's called out on the property.
Yeah.
So, I know that comment came up from Mass DEP. It's essentially a non-issue, especially for a septic
Replacement.
replacement.
Yeah.
We're easily able to demonstrate that we're well outside of the floodplain.
Are they gonna have to remove the fence in order to put in the septic, the leach field?
We asked him, he said no. I do require, I
You asked
remember,
him?
yeah, he said that was gonna be, as good as what the separation is and, a wattle next to the base of the fence done. So that's what was nice about
Oh,
having
he's gonna
that.
put, so he proposed a wattle at the base of the fence?
So we're proposing a wattle, here.
Right, we don't have it at the fence though.
No, we don't have it at the fence. This septic is
Only
not
because-
going to be, it's not gonna be a mound.
Right,
Groundwater is between 90 inches and 120 inches, and it's looks like a fairly granular material.
Yeah, it's all
So
sand in there.
it's all nice sand, so they're gonna be able to just put the system in at existing grade. There's gonna be no need to, put in a mound that would require extensive erosion controls around it.
cause the old septic, you could see where it was right here, it was all melted right out next to the driveway, and that's why it looked the ideal place for the septic leach system to go there. Minimal wattage there done. Opposed to, he had mentioned, they could have, remember, when he was in discussion, the leach maybe being put underneath the driveway, and the lesser of the two evils were to bring it all the way out in front of the pool fence, boom, 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 contained, simple, one shot.
So I'm assuming everything's gonna be hauled off, not stockpiled on site. And then the legend should be updated to match.
So the legend match is the plan. This is an exhibit plan that was with these colors. So this goes no further than this meeting. The actual construction plans, the legend matches those.
Okay. So in other words, this
So
is
Colby
the
has
same
a-
plan we were
Yes.
looking at the site.
Alright, look, Mike, anything?
Well, yeah, Jimmy's right. I mean, the snow was clearly melted right there, so something is going on. And, but the question I have, just going back with, the construction materials, if you build can you build a leach field first and then put the construction materials where the proposed tank will be and then deal with that later? And
I think the construction materials are gonna be straightforward, pulled right out of there and the new materials brought right in. I mean,
Okay.
everything's gonna be within disturbed area from the driveway all the way over to where the leach bed is, Mike.
So this being,
So that whole area will be disturbed, and that'll probably be their area where they do the removal and they're gonna, like you said, the 1,500 tank is gonna leave, correct?
the existing tank is gonna leave and they're gonna put in a new
Not
tank.
crushed,
Haul it
it's gonna
off.
leave.
Yeah.
Right, because
And the
they're gonna
20
put the new one there.
Because it's in the way. And
Bingo.
this being a septic repair as opposed to a new construction,
Mhm.
there's not going to be a massive loam pile where they're gonna clear and
No.
regrade the entire lot. This is,
Very minimal.
yeah.
Thoughts?
No, I think I'm all set on that.
Sandra?
It seems to be pretty straightforward. I'm glad I remember there was another case where, we thought it went before the Board of Health and we thought it was approved. I was talking to Kobe about that earlier, and I'm glad to hear that the Board of Health did.
Well, did they?
You wouldn't tell me. They don't normally inform us.
Oh,
But they have not had the meeting yet, as far as I know.
I'm unsure about this one, whether this one has any kind of approval or not.
Because I would actually, just because there was something else that went on recently, we voted on, and
That was the thing I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah, we voted on and then come to find out the Board of Health
Yeah,
didn't
we have to
actually, you know what I'm
unwind it.
referring to? But anyways, I would hate to think that it'd be a similar situation because I don't wanna vote on something that the Board of Health actually hasn't okayed. I mean, isn't that how it usually works? Correct me if I'm wrong,
We've not had to do that in the past.
Correct.
really?
So now, you bring up a very valid thing that,
10 West Elm was in my
So-
many years here, it was the first time I've seen
so
that.
until, okay, so I'm gonna make a motion to continue this to our March 25th meeting. You know,
What are your concerns with needing to continue it?
is it approved by Board of Health?
Let me I'm going to double check this right now.
We had a professional tell us, yes, that this was approved and it wasn't.
Right, and we voted on that, and I don't feel comfortable doing the same here if it's not been approved by the Board of Health. Because I'm still upset over 10 West Elm Street and what,
Hey, Jack, was One Balsam Drive?
Well, he's talking, let's circle back to what I just said.
Yeah.
In almost 20 years, I've never seen that happen.
I know.
She was
it
that was
was,
the first time I've
I'm-
ever seen her or met her.
I'm informed it was approved last week.
What about North End? Well, we're on the phone.
yeah,
Was,
yeah,
was North End?
a good point.
My point being, again, don't interrupt me.
That,
You
we're
have to
not
have
sure.
faith, you have to have faith in your
So,
engineers
thank you,
at the
Jack.
same
Alright,
time.
wait a minute, he's trying to tell
There
you.
was
Yeah,
some
so-
lawyers been in front of us a lot of times, and I don't question them.
Oh,
That's a little piece of how we have to be and how we have to trust people.
So I am not
You know?
sure on North End.
That's fine.
This,
one is-
I've gotten, the Jack Maloney who designed this is a
Yep.
Title V guy. He told me that this one has been approved.
I know Jack. I trust Jack.
okay.
You know, someone on the screen tells us something. Now we have to we have to really make sure so it is what we,
I would be concerned about it if we hadn't had any back and forth with the Board of Health.
and you'd have because there's a
And-
revision on it.
We have had, we have had a revision from the Board of Health, so this has been submitted to Neshoba Board of Health and Townsend Board of Health. They've reviewed the plan, they had a comment only on the stone depth and the cross-section detail, which has been addressed and
Yep.
revised. So,
So both of you have valid points and concerns.
Mhm.
So I rescind what I started.
So what
to
I'm
say.
trying to say is I don't think we should allow ourselves to get jammed up on that situation because of that one time.
No.
You know, I have to,
Leaves
I'm
a
gonna
bad
say
taste in
it
your mouth
again.
though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm new to this and it really
It
left a
means
bad
that we
taste.
have to hold somebody's feet to the fire. That's why I took the time to speak to Rick Metcalf about it and et cetera, et cetera. I didn't like it going into Board of Health and her telling me, Jimmy, we never had a meeting Monday. You know, I happened to be there that day,
So-
which was, it bothered me. First time I've ever seen it in
So, I make
a
a-
long time.
I make a motion to issue a standard order of conditions for One Balsam Drive. DEP number 308-0728, TWB 2026-003.
Second. Do you get it?
Who seconded
I
it?
don't know, I think that was close. You wanna do a recording playback? I think I got it, Mikey.
Okay, here we go.
So who's taking it?
Jimmy,
Jimmy, you got it, yeah.
Roll call vote, starting with Mike.
Mike Potts said yes.
James Stone, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Pat Jamal, yes.
Sandra Lord, yes.
Thank you, Frank, for
Thank you.
calling Jack and
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
playing our game.
Yeah.
It's not that we like it.
Before, while we got Frank, I have a question about the NOI application. Up on the screen, can you just double check, and maybe I'm tired.
Yep.
But can you just review the area that's being altered? And I just want to make sure we didn't flip flop those two numbers, 1,400
I don't think Frank, well, it was Jack that did this.
yeah,
And was John.
because I don't see 1,400 feet within.
the 100, that might, I will review that.
Yeah.
And if I need to, I'll issue you, updated numbers.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you'll have that by Friday.
That isn't gonna change anything.
We have to close out the hearing.
Yes. So I make a motion to close out the hearing for One Balsam Drive, DEP file, 308-0728, TWB 2026-003. Is there a second?
Go for it, Pat.
I'll second it.
Mike Pot said yes.
James Drowan, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Sandra Lord, yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Pat Jamal, yes. Sorry, leaving me out.
I'm over exhibiting.
Thank you, Frank, for. Oh, he left.
I have to step out of the room for a minute. I'll be right back.
Alright, so,
What's that?
Not that would be it.
Oh, are you here with, John?
my sidekick. Well, there's still 4 of us. And really shouldn't start the next one.
We started without her, we could keep going a little.
So we gotta
Yeah,
open
right.
a hearing, so.
I know.
Colby, I wanna jump down to 3.2 quick. Meeting House Park cutting plan, completion and status discussed. Is it short and sweet?
Yes. So the old Meeting House Park, where we were having a timber cut, Craig Birch, and his company finished, as of last week. They provided us with all the tally, the trip tickets which present what they brought to the pulp mill and saw logs.
Oh,
There was a lot more rod and funky wood in there than we thought, so and the numbers are vastly different than what we thought were gonna come out of there. It is what it is, so.
We came out ahead.
but you still, at the same time, we all knew, we couldn't tell how extensive the stain was into the trees. He did mention it, and it was an uncharted territory.
And to his credit, he found avenues to get rid of the logs to actually make just a tiny bit of.
Because I did get up there and take just a brief from the top down look and from the bottom.
Yeah, and what
It
you
was
have,
pretty
what you
clean.
have now is a sanitized, stand of trees, so, all in all, it was beneficial. The number that we got returned to us is $495.90, which, will be deposited into, the meeting house.
Meeting house, not in the town
No,
coffers, that goes to the meeting house, that's their own separate account.
yes. Mike, you're smiling. We won. We got something.
And I have the timber sale remittance ones here from the other one. I'll keep going, I guess.
Is there anything else? Or
Well, yeah, you wanna go down to whatever it is,
3.3, yeah.
3.3, is that the grant?
3.3 Nashua Wild and Scenic?
Yes.
Grant.
So I was able to get another grant in, that was due, 2 Fridays ago. It's a grant request of $7,500 to the National Rivers Wild and Scenic Stewardship Council. And I wrote it, as a multi-phase, grant, with the first phase obviously being this year, with, 2 or 3, phases coming. And it's basically to rehabilitate the Squamicook River from Adams Dam area up to Canal Bridge. This first one is for the,
Meaning West Townsend? Yeah.
yeah, so there's a lot of invasive plants along the river there, largely knotweed. So
Japanese knotweed?
Japanese,
Millipore?
huh?
Ian Millipore? There is.
Milfoil?
Milfoil,
I'm sure there's,
Millipore, yeah.
it is.
That's the only thing I saw
bittersweet.
coming in
No,
there.
there's not wheat. There's not wheat. There's a ton of knotweed.
Oh, no, and the common reeds on the way down too.
So
From,
to attend to these established areas,
you know,
we need, it's really not a removal at this point, it's kind of a control plan. So this grant will provide expertise to write a control plan for it. the heavy lifting will come from volunteers to remove plants.
Now, where is this?
Don't give me that one.
Now, how did, it was milfoil?
I didn't notice before, but I was on the banks
So-
of it. I was looking at knotweed, knots and knotweed.
Did we submit a application to survey more properties?
Good to add to this.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so that one is coming up in, that hasn't actually opened yet. That's the land grant. This is
Okay,
the community grants program.
Okay.
That one, I believe, opens up at the end of May. I was just reading it, end of May sounds right. But yes, we'll be, employing that too.
So
well,
are they only targeting particular invasives, or is it?
no, I think it'd be all,
This is general.
but it's only a plan, they're not going after any. You gotta put your waders on to go after
Yeah,
them.
buddy.
I
From
know
where
they're,
to
I
where?
know they're all expecting it
What?
to be
From
manual.
where, what area?
So I have a
Adams Dam
plan
up to
for
Canal Street.
future years.
To West Townsend, all the way to the, covered the,
just trying to bring her up.
arch
Huh?
bridge.
They're just trying to bring her up.
Yeah. And
It's a massive area with a lot in it.
so future grants, I hope to, put them towards, making that more navigable, the river, because you cannot get through there.
It's
So you spend all your time
And it was,
pulling your boat over.
I think, 8 or 9 years ago.
I'm gonna move along with this one and I can give you a history about that,
Yeah.
And then there's,
Right,
which I'm all for doing that.
the boat launches
yep,
that can be made more accessible, but that's down the road.
I think it-
don't want to take up more time.
No, you get the vision. You know, that's what we wanna do.
And we're getting volunteers too. I'll give you another point.
Okay.
But things are happening. It's good.
I think it'd be a real good thing to see the river start getting an annual clean.
I'm gonna move along, if everyone's okay, to 2.3, 0 Road, map parcel 23-4-0. There's no folder for that up here, Colby.
Big size.
Seaver Road.
That's because it's a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
These are the plans. You can start by looking at the plans.
No, I need the legal notice. Notice of intent, DEP file number 308-0729, TWB 2026-004. Approximately 8 PM, applicant John Mello Jr. proposes a definitive plan development of a 500-foot long subdivision road for a creation of 3 single-family house lots and associated stormwater management system only. Part of the development is within 100-foot wetland buffer.
You don't want to get into it, but this is largely what, all the details of the stormwater, but the NOI isn't in there.
Thank you. So I make a motion to open the hearing.
I'll second it.
Roll call vote, starting with Mike.
Mike Parr said yes?
James Doran, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Patrick, yes.
Sandra Wood here.
Pursuant to Mass WPA and the Townsend Wetland Bylaw, Townsend Concom will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, March 11th, 2026 at approximately 8 PM. Hearing will be held virtually via Zoom and in person at Town Hall on a NOI filed with Concom by John Mello Jr. as TWB 2026-004. Property is located at 0 Cedar Road, map parcel ID 23-4-0. The proposed project is for the development of a 500-foot long subdivision road for the creation of a single-family, or 3 single-family house lots and associated stormwater management system only. Part of the development is within 100 feet of the wetland. Parties wishing to speak in support of or in opposition to this application may do so at the meeting or in writing prior to the meeting. Copies of this application are available for review at Town Hall during business hours. Do we have the cards, Colby? Yeah.
I can find it in the NOI if you like.
We didn't do.
The mailing things.
It would be a certificate of mailing.
And I believe Wayne is here to represent.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, and Colby. It's good seeing a few of you folks yesterday on site, taking a look at the property and going over the design. I've got a very excitable male white cat. He's large. He likes to play during these meetings, so you see something come at me, just please bear with me. He's got his eye on me. So again, Wayne Bellick, Land Design Collaborative. So John Mello is a partner of Belvedere Capital. They are the folks that have bought the property. And if I could, do you folks want me to share my screen, or would you like to share yours? Does it matter?
Hartley, can you give Wayne screen sharing, please?
Thank you.
Hey, Colby, I got the clip and everything too. Jimmy, can I see the plan, please?
Colby.
Thank you. So can you folks see the screen?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So as you can see, this is a locus map from the cover sheet of the filing. So the subject property measures about 13.02 acres. It has about 36.97 feet of frontage, and I'll get into that in a minute. But as you can see, it's about 1,700 feet, or 1,970 feet from the intersection of Tyler Road. For the benefit of the commission, I was when I met with you folks yesterday, Mr. Chairman, I remember a comment between you and Mike and talking about having some color on the exhibits and the presentation. So I took the liberty of adding a little bit of color to this so that you folks can see in better detail what is going on out here. So the property, like I said, consists of 13.04 acres. We do have some wetlands on the property. As you can see, it's this area in here in green, and that measures about 51,000 square feet, just north of an acre. So the property, the way it's laid out, Seaver Road is public to this point here. This portion in here is private, and it's actually an easement. This is all the parcel from here, wraps around like this, out around in red, along the town line, back up and over to this narrow section in here. There isn't a butter as you enter the property here, located to the left as you're driving in, and it's located on this site here. So there's the road is a gravel, partially paved road, in somewhat poor condition. As you get through this area, it's primarily gravel. The site is generally wooded, with the exception of some cart road that goes through here, which served as perhaps a service road to do some tree cutting in the past. I believe this was the subject of a tree cutting permit at one point, and also to serve to perform soil testing on the site. Mr. Chairman, you seem to have recalled that hearing of this project at one point, and the reason being is that I believe it was in about 2022. There was a filing with the planning board for a preliminary plan, and they received preliminary plan approval. If I could back up for a minute to the situation with Seaver Road. So Seaver Road back in 1973 was public all the way through here. Back in 1973, the town, and I believe it was via town meeting vote, as it usually is, decided to discontinue the public road status for this in here. So if this were still a public road, we wouldn't be here with you folks tonight. We wouldn't see you folks until we were looking at a filing that was within your jurisdiction for one of the lots. And the reason being is if this was a public road, we'd be just doing simple A&R lots throughout the site. The wetlands on site were delineated by JRB Wetland Consulting. I don't know if you folks are familiar with them. the guy that owns the company is Joe Bellino. He worked with DEP as a certain circuit rider in the Central Regional Office for about 25, 30 years. So we consulted with him on this here to redelineate the wetland. Back in 2020, the commission had issued, and there was an ANRAD filed with the commission to confirm the resource areas in advance of a filing from the previous property owner. Back then, the commission reviewed the delineations and issued an order of resource area delineation, and I believe that was in 2020 when that was issued. Now, over that period of time, as I said to Mike and the chair yesterday and to Colby, that's 6 years ago. And while there is still, maybe through the Permit Extension Act or through the tolling period as a result of COVID, it may still have life to it. But as I said to these folks, I said I wanted to have a wetland consultant go in here again and just confirm that the delineation was still the same. What he found is it was fairly consistent. And the reason I wanted to do that, as I said to the chair and Colby and Mike, that in this area here where the topography is steeper, wetlands won't morph that much. But when you get up into these areas in here, they do have a tendency of doing so. It doesn't always happen, but I just wanted to make sure that we weren't playing in wetlands at the end of the day, even though it was still, I believe, still protected under a valid ORAD. So with that said, what you see here is, like I said, in green, you see the limits of the wetlands. The wetland flags, as you folks know, were added to the plans and sent off to you. There is jurisdiction within the Conservation Commission, the 0 to 35 feet, 50-foot buffer zone. So you have a 35-foot no disturb, 50-foot buffer zone, and then the typical 100-foot buffer zone, which is not only with you folks, but with the Wetlands Protection Act. The soils on site, a hydrologic soils group B, C, and D. D soils primarily in the wetland system, and the B and C soils, as you folks know, C soils are moderately draining soils. B soils are well to moderately drained soils. So the soils out here are conducive for stormwater management, and particularly for infiltration. And so we're going to take advantage of that for groundwater recharge in conformance with your local stormwater regulations and bylaws, as well as the state stormwater standards.
Now, did you go out there and auger those recently, or those off of the old plans? Not that they would change.
Mr. Chair, are you referring to the deep test pits?
Hey, Wayne, I gotta correct you. I wasn't there yesterday.
We're two Jims. I'm not the chair. Jim's the chair. He just doesn't go to sidewalks.
Oh.
See, I got to poke in tonight too.
I know. No, it's fine. Just yes. But we can continue. Sorry.
Okay, sorry about that, Mr. Chairman. So now I know who the chair is. So
Isn't that both Jims? But yeah, did you auger those just recently, or those from 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago?
Through the chair, you mean the deep test pits?
Yes.
Yes, those were recent. So these are all recent within the stormwater management basins.
I'm looking for the.
Wayne, he's asking about the wetland.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was in April of 2025.
Yes.
Okay.
So less than a year old.
So he's been on this whole thing. That's what I wanted to double check on. Good.
Okay.
You can still call me if you want.
I'm getting too confused. So again, so those were recently dug. Just actually, I think it was so that was in 2025, in April 2025. As for the test pits for the stormwater management system, those were within the last few months. We were out there opening those up, and what we found here is the soils on site are consistent with the Natural Resource Conservation Service soils, as being hydrologic soil group, primarily in the upland area of B's and C soils. So when Joe Bellino was out there, he found the typical wetland plant species. And I'm going to fire up you'll see what he did find out here. So as you can see, he says that in the wetland areas, he observed skunk cabbage, sensitive fern, cinnamon fern, marsh marigold, red maple, high bush, blueberry, pussy willow, gray birch, tussock sedge. And as you folks know, that's typically what you're going to see in these wetland systems and these wooded areas, especially with these types of soils. The upland vegetation included Canada mayflower, white pine, white ash, northern red oak, Norway maple, cinnamon fern, autumn mottle, olive, and spotted wintergreen. So back to the presentation. So again, all this was the wetland vegetation. The rest of it was upland. On the property, like I said, we do have some buffer zones. The site offers some constraints to it. One being obviously the resource areas, your 35, 50, and 100 foot buffer zones. And along the western border, there is a portion of the site right here, Natural Heritage Priority Habitat of Rare Species. There's the Natural Heritage Endangered Species Program file number, and it shows it coming up onto the property. This is based on Mass Mapper. We imported the line work into the proper coordinate system, and that's where it had fallen. Now, interestingly, back then, Natural Heritage was contacted because this is something that we typically do, but it was the previous engineer, Graz Engineering. They reached out to Natural Heritage, and they state that based on what was currently proposed, which is essentially the same subdivision we're looking at here with some minor positive environmental changes, as proposed, will not result in a prohibited take. And basically what that says is that in terms of the wetland, in terms of what you're proposing on the site, you're not venturing into that area where you'd have to do some mitigation with Natural Heritage. And in terms of the species, not exactly sure what was identified within their jurisdiction, but you'll see as we venture on, we are not proposing any work within the system. So again, this road, as it's currently laid out, the town road ends here. Access to Mr. Mulligan's property occurs here, and then he accesses into his site. So he's not going to be affected by our access or any of the construction activity in terms of creating any obstructions. This here continues the gravel drive down to number 50 Seaver Road to Mr. Cohen's house. What we're going to do is, if he does have an easement on the property, a record easement. What we're going to do is we're going to work with him. We're going to work logistically so that we do not create any issues for him as construction occurs. The next plan, so now we're into the construction mode. Again, you can see the perimeter property line in red. You will see that we have the wetlands in green again with all the flag numbers, the 35, 50, and 100 foot buffer zone. And we also have it here, as you can see, as the erosion and sediment control measures. Now, I heard you folks talking earlier about straw wattles and silt fence and the like. Anytime we're dealing, and you'll see on the grading and drainage plan, anytime we're dealing with areas where we're going to have slopes of 3-to-1 or steeper, we install straw bales, which back a siltation fence. They're properly keyed into the ground. We have details on the plan that show how that's done. And so basically that's what we're going to have along here. Up in here, what we're proposing is another type of erosion sediment control barrier, and that is the straw wattle back, or the silt fence backed by the straw wattle. The reason we're doing that, it's a limit of work, nothing more. There's no grading that's going to flow toward this area, but it serves as a limit of work and ensures that nothing creeps into the jurisdiction of Natural Heritage. Looking at the road from the end of the cul-de-sac, it comes in 500 feet. It's a 40-foot or variable width layout for a couple reasons because of the subdivision rules and regs. It's not a straight 40-foot layout. Not to mention that out here, the width of the road is only about 37 feet. So with that, and now I'm referring to the public, the road layout, the end of the public layout. So what we're proposing in here is we're looking to maintain and protect the trees along the side of the road, and we call that as an M&P. Or remove and relocate. If you ever see the terminology R&R on here, it's remove and relocate. As I was saying to the group in the field yesterday, as we look at site prep plans. Now I could have looked to make this look better with you folks, with DEP, and I could have been disingenuous and said, hey, so rather than have the limit of clearing out to where it needs to be, I could have shown it in here, nice and tight to the roadway and wrapping around, continuing nice and tight. The fact of the matter is in order for us to construct the roadway, we're going to need to remove the material that's in here. So the road will come down through here. It will require the removal of maybe 2 to 3 feet of topsoil and subsoil. It's going to be stockpiled somewhere. So what we've done is we've run some calculations and determined the piles of these stockpiles. So we have loam stockpile areas and storage stockpile areas. So we've got a combination of things. Is we've got several hundred yards of material that's going to be stored. We also have a materials processing area. That materials processing area is for whenever we remove the topsoil and subsoil, and we need to create some screened loam, it's going to occur in here. If there is any soil with some decent sized aggregate, the aggregate's going to be crushed and repurposed on site rather than having to haul in that extra material and eating up the town roads with vehicles traveling to and from the site. You'll also see that we do have a refueling area. It is located outside the 100-foot buffer zone, absolutely key. We've got a refueling area for any vehicle. So if they have loaders or excavators or whatever they're working with, trees that when they come down, if they're working with skid steers, this is a refueling area. That's not to say the refueling area wouldn't be over in here. But the bottom line, and I would encourage the commission, if you already don't, that if in one of your special conditions that refueling occurs outside the 100-foot buffer zone, if you want to take it so far to say that 100-foot buffer zone and no closer than shown on the approved plans.
That is on our list of conditions.
Perfect. So then we have in here the material storage. So let's say they're doing work. So let's say they need a trench box. So they'll put the trench box. They'll use their trench boxes for the drainage. Keep that material stored in here. Any site materials that they're going to need during construction, that'll be stored in here. Construction trailer, typical of a site like this, you're talking maybe a 40-foot by 10-foot trailer is usually what they have with the door and the little steps on it. So limits of clearing, what you're seeing in here is in green. And as I explained to the group yesterday, why we're proposing the limits of clearing as we are here and not so tight to these other areas. In looking at this, you'd say, well, it should be tighter. But because we're going to be out here and working on the lots, we've rough laid out the lots. You'll find in the site plans the subdivision plans that were provided to you, that there is a conceptual site development plan, or a lot development plan, I think we call it. And what that shows is based on the soil testing out here, rough ideas as to what we're looking at for grading on the lot. We showed the grading of the lot, and what I said in the filing with the commission and with DEP is I made it clear that the work that's being proposed out here is not related to the lots. It's specific to the roadway and the roadway infrastructure. So the roadway construction and the stormwater management. And the reason that I mentioned that a number of times in the filing is because at one point this was just a few years ago, I hadn't broken it out. It was broken out, but DEP didn't understand, the verbiage in the document. So with that, I've been very particular about that. So again, it's specific to the road and the infrastructure. What you see here in our drainage, is part of what we're, so once you start to open up the earth and you start to move soil around, things start to happen. You get erosion issues, you get rills that are created once you get rainstorms. So what we do to prevent things like that and to mitigate for it is we look at our grading. In this case here, the contours are pitching such that the water is coming in this direction. So we're proposing a roadside ditch, low profile, to take sediments that flow into the ditch down into this temporary sediment basin. This sediment basin gets filled with, about 6 to 8 inches of sediment, and then it is removed here and disposed properly off-site in one of the delegated state areas. You'll also see with this line work, I propose that down below as well. So at the end of the cul-de-sac, before the cul-de-sac bulb goes in, when they start to work, they remove the material, they start to perform their earthwork. They'll propose to put a diversion channel in here, wrapped around here to capture anything that's naturally going to want to flow this way, capture it and put it into this. We're going to call this one a sediment basin. The reason we're not calling it a temporary sediment basin, it is temporary, but we're calling it a sediment basin because that's eventually where the stormwater management basin's going to go, and that we'll get into that in a minute. So as you see, we've got more diversion channels here into sediment basins, same thing up in here. What tends to happen here is as you do these projects, I look at this as as I was saying to the folks that were at the site yesterday, like a stormwater pollution prevention plan. I'll get into that in a couple of minutes. But like a stormwater pollution prevention plan, which is a living, breathing document on a project out at the site, this is a living, breathing thing going on here. So you may find that you put in a diversion channel, seems to work one day for a couple storms, and then you get another storm, and it looks like things are going to change. Well, then you it's halftime at a Pats game. You call in the team and you regroup, and then you put in another diversion channel where you see things starting to happen to address it before it starts. The limit of clearing on these projects, we have survey staked in the field. The way we do this is we'll go out, have it survey staked. We will walk it after that. And if we're looking in the area and looking at this lot in here, let's say down in this area here, we see some specimen trees that we feel are worth keeping 10, 15 feet into the site. We want to retain those. And what we'll do is we'll flag those up, save the trees. What that will do is once we get into the design of the lots, we'll know where those trees are and we'll be extra sensitive to save those for the individual lot grading. Again, that will come under separate filings. And as we see it now, we're probably looking at 2 individual lot filings down the road. So that's basically how we deal with the erosion and sediment control while prepping the site. Then we get into our design plan. So as you can see here, I've got the road. One of the things that the previous plan showed, we like to work with low impact development. We like to do low impact development projects. As I was saying to the folks in the field yesterday, there were some properties where, I mean, you can jump up and down and want low impact development, but a couple factors have to come into play here. You need topographically, you need fairly flat topography, you need good, well-draining soils. While we have decent soils out here, what we're challenged with is some of the topography in here. And what I mean by that is the preliminary plan that had gone to the town originally proposed a roadside swale in here, and it flowed down to a basin in this location. As we looked at it, looking at the grades, anytime you get anywhere in a longitudinal slope greater than 4, maybe 5%, you don't want to go with roadside swales. And you don't want to do that because of erosion issues. So what we are proposing here is a curb system. The curb system is going to be on the sides of an 18-foot wide paved roadway. We'll have 2-foot shoulders beyond that. That work is going to begin up at Mr. Mulligan's just beyond his driveway, at the edge of his driveway, not on his property, but we're going to install a bituminous concrete berm. Yesterday, when I met with the commission, I thought we were going to have some open drainage. Looking at it again, because of the grades, it's all bituminous concrete berm where we can capture the runoff. Anything that comes down here, as I said, we mimic the topography here with the contours, the existing contours pitch in this direction. So we've mimicked that with our proposed contours where everything is going to flow to this side of the road, come down to this area through a sediment basin, sediment forebay in here, and through a very flat grass swale that comes down through here, eventually hits a plunge pool, and the plunge pool has a level spreader on it. So basically what that does is once the water comes down and it comes through, so at this point, it's going to be more or less a channelized flow, shallow concentrated channelized flow as it comes into this area in here. Because it's so flat out here, we are probably looking at more of a channelized flow. I mean, a shallow concentrated flow. If the topography was steeper in here, it would channelize and the velocities would be significant when it hits the riprap basin. In this case here, comes down into the basin, hits the level spreader, and then begins again. So that typically when you're looking at overland flow, it begins with a sheet flow, typically 50 feet, goes to a shallow concentrated flow, and then to a channelized flow. Basically what happens here is once it comes through here in a shallow concentrated flow, hits this here, and overtops the top of this berm, it's basically dissipated all the energy, and then it continues the process again. Now this comes out as sheet flow, again for 50 feet, so that by the time it gets down to this area here, as you can see the contours doing this, topography is going to allow it to come down into this area here, into a depression where it's going to flow through a pair of 24-inch pipes discharging into yet another energy dissipating plunge pool. Again, same principle, cascading over the top, riprap, and then down below. You will see that, yeah.
In the name of us you're doing a great job, and this is a very comprehensive plan. I want to focus on areas that are, within
your jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, be polite.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine, Mr. Chairman. I get it.
Really, comprehensive plan, and I nerdily like looking at it.
Well, I appreciate that, and I take that as a compliment. Let's go to your jurisdiction. So within your jurisdiction, what you see here is the hidden lines, the dash line in here. Those are your erosion sediment control measures. Those are the measures that are necessary to be down gradient of the stockpile areas and for the activity that's being proposed on the site. You're going to have a closed drainage system that's going to flow through some deep sump hooded catch basins to a manhole discharge into here to a sediment forebay, which is going to overtop and then go into a basin that's going to have two sections in it. The sections are going to be linked by an equalizer pipe. Again, this thick line here is your 100-foot buffer zone. Within your buffer zone, we're going to have this discharge coming out into the level spreader and overtopping. And then we've got an overtopping device, which is an emergency overflow spillway, riprap type device, so that should anything happen to the outlet control structure, which is located here, typically you folks have seen these, it looks like a manhole with holes cored on the side with a grate on top. That'll control the flood stage within the basin here. And then should that become obstructed, it overflows the top, and this has been sized to have the capacity for the 100-year storm event. We are proposing this at this time, again, just beyond your jurisdiction, but we would rather plumb the basin for everything coming down the road associated with the driveway that's going to be serving this lot up in here. To give you guys an idea.
That nice flat discharge at the bottom of all these basins, looking at how that relief is.
Yep.
So it mimics what you've done to the top to here. Down through that middle strip, you'll get a high velocity down through that middle strip. Once again, you'll dump into the riprap. Nice level flow, slow it down,
Yep.
discharge down to the next someone, so, okay.
Yep, yep.
Nice.
So yeah, that explains it in a nutshell. So again, what we're looking to do is just dissipate all the energy before it gets to the resource areas. The last thing we want to see out here are any erosion issues, down the road. So this site, so this will be subject to, so after everything's graded out and everything will be stabilized, loam seeded, stabilized. When we do these things and we go to do an as-built of the site, we'll do an interim as-built of the basin to make sure it's properly constructed, so that they're not going out there after they've loamed and seeded and playing again and now disturbing anything. We like to get that before they loam and seed, tell them it's okay to go ahead and loam and seed, and then we're done. And then a while after that, after the 2 growing seasons or within that, we'll be coming requesting a certificate of or an order of condition, certificate of compliance. This will all be subject to, because we're altering more than an acre of land, it's going to be subject to the National Pollution Elimination Discharge System program, so the NIPIDs program. So we're going to need to file an ENOI with the federal EPA for the disturbance of more than 1 acre of land. Because of that, it's going to trigger a stormwater management pollution prevention plan. That SWIP, which I referred to earlier, is the living, breathing document that stays on the property. If a federal agent from the EPA shows up on a property and you don't have one, you can get significantly fined. So what we do is we encourage our clients, you can't force them, you can tell them it's in your very best interest to file a SWIP. So we typically, in all our filings that result in the alteration of more than an acre of land, we include the SWIP. As part of that SWIP, we have the operation and maintenance plan after, and it's all included in your filing. And I can look at that if you want, Mr. Chair. But basically, the way it works is that you have your operation and maintenance plan. You have your stormwater pollution prevention plan during construction. Then you have a stormwater pollution prevention plan post-construction. And that basically tells you, how you address certain situations on site. I've got, where is that?
After everything's said and done.
Well, even on done.
And he was referring to the 401 water quality test also?
So in this one here, it doesn't require 401 water quality because we're not within that jurisdiction. We're not altering streams. So in this particular case, it's just purely the SWIP with the federal EPA. Just as stringent. They come, they look. We've had a couple cases where they have shown up to the site. One of the sites, the client chose not to go with a SWIP, and he paid for it. The other guy had it. The agent looked at it and said, "Good, nice job. Let's keep this going." So with that, we do have the long-term operation and maintenance plan, and then like I said, we have the stormwater pollution prevention plan that covers everything. So as part of that living, breathing document on site, what they'll have in that document is the order of conditions. They'll have their stormwater management permit. We're filing for the major stormwater management permit with planning board because it alters more than 40,000 square feet and it's a subdivision. We'll have that in there. We'll have the planning board decision, any plans. So we'll probably have 11 by 17s, plus they'll have a full set of drawings in the trailer on site while any work is being done. All the contractors' names and contacts information is on there. Our information is on there so that if there's any questions that come up from the town and you need to contact anybody, you'll have all the numbers and contact information in your copy of the SWIP. When things are updated in the SWIP, you will receive updates. So if we go out there as part of this construction project in the SWIP, there are going to be inspections on site. Those are required by a certified and EPA certified erosion control inspector. We have that on staff, and they'll go out to the site, make some observation, write up reports. If there are deficiencies or any issues out there, they'll notify the contractor and say, you've got to fix this. How long is it going to take? I'll be back. Okay, on Friday, we'll take a look at it, and then they will look to sign off. Anytime we see anything, we report it. If it's out to lunch, it's reported, it's put in the document, we follow it up, and then we check it off as having been properly addressed. So with that, like I said, everything is up gradient of the erosion sediment control measures. The site was designed to meet the 8 interests of the act as well. There are no wetland impacts. The buffer zone impacts are pretty minimal. Those are, I could hit on those if you'd like, Mr. Chairman, or we could just open it up for questions to the board.
Is he talking to you or me?
So basically, like I said, there's
if we could keep it quick or brief,
Yeah.
I
Like
think
to
it would
know?
be, yeah, it would be good just so that, just so it's said, and it's, Sandra's a new commissioner.
Sure.
Mike's only been on for, probably 2 years now at this point, God only knows.
Nice. Nice.
But it's always good to do something quick and,
Yep.
Really
So-
too.
So I do have the buffer zone impacts. So as you look at the buffer zone impacts, the amount of buffer zone, as you can see on the property, the total is 150,000 square feet. So that's just shy of 4 acres. Of that, just shy of 4 acres, the buffer zone, the total buffer zone that's being altered is just about a half acre, 24,000 square feet. From 50 to 100, it's about a half acre, just shy of that 24,000 square feet. From 35 to 50, there's 2,000 square feet, and from 0 to 35, nothing's being altered. So like I said, the wetland system on site's about 51,000 square feet. So when you look at all the area within your jurisdiction, the wetland and the buffer zone, you're talking about 200,000 square feet, roughly 5 acres. Of that 5 acres, we're altering a total of a half acre. And that's all beyond, mostly beyond 50 feet of the buffer zone. So it's in that second section of the buffer zone up in here. Any questions, Mr. Chairman?
We can go around the table and I want to remind everyone, this is not for the house lots. This is
Correct.
just for the road.
It's for the wet road?
Just for the road. And the stormwater associated with the road.
Stormwater management, water control, etc.
They designed it so that they wouldn't have to redo stuff when the time comes to do house lots. Or if they did, it would be taken care of now. But you said 2 out of the 3 lots you foresee file.
Yeah, I think so, Mr. Chairman. So this lot 1's not going to be within your jurisdiction. This guy here will be. The septic system is going to be, and the grading will be within your jurisdiction. This guy up in here, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think this guy, we have it designed so his driveway, I believe, comes up through here. So I don't foresee any of his work being within. So you're probably looking at just this lot.
And that was on that long dog leg.
That's correct.
That went down. Okay.
But regardless,
Yes.
this is just, Colby.
I can see that.
Hi, Wayne.
Hi, Colby.
I got a question. I'm gonna come close to the microphone so I don't have to yell. Do you intend on the process of this OOC, completing it before you sell the other parcels so that the certificate of compliance, it doesn't become responsibilities of the new homeowners?
Yeah. He did say
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Okay.
No, he did say that you know, obviously they aren't going to apply for the completed order of conditions and for 2 growing seasons, but,
Yeah.
you know, it is gonna take time to sell and build.
Okay.
So through the
But-
chair, it's rare that we would request the order prior to the 2 growing seasons. The only exception to that, you folks know that if you go ahead, you loam and seed, and as part of that loam and seed, you get some decent rains and things really take off, and you exceed that 75% coverage, and then you're able to go for it. So I've had situations that, for instance, in Hudson last year, 2 years ago, within 6 months, everything was lush. It was well beyond the 75%. So we say so typically it's 2 growing seasons, but on occasion you do get them to go quicker. But yeah, we're anticipating 2 growing seasons. One thing I failed to mention is on the backside of the slope within your jurisdiction, all this area in here is going to be seeded with a New England conservation mix, a wildlife conservation mix. So what it does is it makes that transition from the wooded area to the area of the basin with some dense undergrowth shrub for wildlife migratory patterns. So in terms of the orders of conditions, yes, so there would be an order of conditions for the road and for the stormwater, which would be under the ownership, the Belvedere Capital would have ownership of that. If Belvedere Capital sells the lots, what they would do is they may have an open order on this to close this out, because typically the way this will work is they will get it down to binder course, go in, and so if they have some work to do on the lots, it'll be at most be down to binder course. Once the construction activity has ceased on the lots and you're looking at basically inside the house type construction and you don't have the heavy equipment required anymore, then they would typically go to the installing the berms and the finish course. So with that, each individual lot, I sat on the conservation, as I was telling the guys yesterday, I was on a commission for like 7 years. And one of the challenges that we had is that when a homeowner would go for a certificate of compliance, it would get caught up because some of the activity, if they lump 2 lots together, one of the lots may have been totally complete, but not the other one. So they had that problem. So I've always been of the mindset that each lot gets its own order of conditions. So that's how we would approach that.
Yeah, like you said, it would, instead of a partial.
That is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
To go partial or each individual lot approval.
You just said, ask the same question, just 2 different ways.
Right.
Yeah,
So
so
one of the things I want to note for the commissioners is, you know, the retention basins are going to receive a detention basin mix.
Yep.
You know, you also had the conservation wildlife area mix, like you said,
For flat areas.
but also a wildflower area.
Yep.
You know, so that's something that, you know, I want to recognize that.
A lot of work went into these plans, very.
Yeah.
Very
I think-
detailed.
Thank you. Thank you.
very
Well, I think, you
detailed.
know, as I said to the folks in the field yesterday, being on your side of the table for as long as I was, you have a full appreciation of it and you know what to look for. You know what's right, you know what's wrong. So we like to think we do things right. You know, there's got to be that transition. There's
Now,
gotta
what
be
about
that transition?
utilities?
So utilities are limited.
Your pole.
Yep.
Prep for pole, and it
Yep.
ends, but.
Yep. So utilities are pretty straightforward. I'm going to go to the plan and profile sheet to show you how the utilities are coming into the site. So in here, we've got a utility pole.
Yeah,
So there's an overhead wire that comes down to a utility pole that's located right here.
Yep.
Because that's going to be within the curb, we're going to relocate the utility pole here, rerun the overhead wire here, and then go underground here to connect to the underground service that currently exists here and serves the property here and here. Okay, so there are utility boxes here serving, and it shows an underground electric that comes into the site. So we're thinking, once we get out there, we do a little exploration. We're gonna confirm that this does in fact serve Lot 3. The rest of it goes on to 50 Seaver Road. And what we're looking to do is pick up from this underground electric, pick it up over here, right off the edge of pavement, and run it down to a transformer pad right here. And that will serve the 2 lots out back, going up the a driveway. So there'll be a driveway that goes out to that lot 2, the one that dog legs. It'll have its own service there. This guy can pull off of this guy here right up into his lot. We are proposing. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Colby.
We did have a couple comments from DEP, and they're all related to stormwater standards, which will be addressed by the stormwater permit.
Yep.
Which is what? Okay, thank you.
So interesting, so I do appreciate. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No, you're fine, Wayne.
That would be best.
So as I said to the folks yesterday, this particular project, DEP really doesn't have a say for stormwater. And although I do appreciate them weighing in, they really have no jurisdiction here because it is a small subdivision, only 3 lots. And so when we filed, I deliberately did not file a stormwater permit, the stormwater information with DEP, because it's not within their jurisdiction. It's within the jurisdiction of the town of Townsend because of your stormwater bylaw. Had you not had a stormwater bylaw and regulations, there would not have been a stormwater permit filed, and the amount of stormwater mitigation that would have been proposed would have been significantly less. So we still would have done something.
It would have been significant.
Yeah, yep. Because we would have looked at the pre and post development, because when you look at the pre and post development flows and that mitigation, that's triggered by the regulatory process. So we would have more looked at this as a situation where we would probably have looked to address it on a per lot basis. We would have definitely have done something with the road, but not to the degree that we're proposing it. Because you folks have a requirement to comply with NOAA 14, which is the latest standard in your regulations and bylaws, which is the most restrictive stormwater standard there is in terms of the amount of precipitation. So NOAA 14 is basically, so back in the day, let's say you had in a 100-year event, 6.85 inches of runoff. NOAA 14 is saying it's 7.1 to 7.2 inches within 24 hours of stormwater. So it's a more stringent requirement. We would have adhered not to the NOAA 14, but to the current regulations, basically under DEP, but modified. But we will, so just to be clear, the planning board does have a peer review consultant who's looking at this as well. And so because we filed under those stormwater regulations and bylaws, they are reviewing the entire application for compliance with these local stormwater regs and bylaws. These are more stringent, as you folks know. Same thing with conservation bylaws and regulations. Anytime you implement bylaws and regulations, I had done the same thing in my hometown of Auburn years ago, where you make them more stringent than DEP. No different from the local requirements, as evidenced by the NOAA 14 requirements for rainfall precipitation.
So you're saying Townsend's in good shape as far as?
You are. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody was thinking, somebody wasn't asleep at the wheel. Somebody was doing something. Yeah, it's good. Take credit for it, Mr. Chairman. Take credit for it.
Mike, what are your thoughts?
Well,
I've done it this way.
Go ahead. No, this is by far, since I've been on the commission, this is by far the most complex set of plans that I've.
Complex or comprehensive?
Both.
Both.
Through the chair, I'm not sure how to take that. I take, I hear compliment and then I hear the back, I feel the backhand. It's like a handshake and then the
Mike's
backhand.
a man guy, though. I side with him.
At any rate, there were a lot of new concepts and terminology that I was not familiar with. And anytime there was a question, Wayne more than thoroughly answered it. And Jimmy would ask questions, which I know he knew the answers to, but he was asking them for my benefit so I could internalize more information, and I do appreciate that and keep it up. And, but it strikes me that Wayne is one of those engineers who anticipates everything and figures out a way to solve every problem.
Yep, I appreciate that. I don't believe,
From my standpoint, which is not based on a lot of engineering experience, but no, it's every question we had, he answered.
So do you have any?
I do appreciate that, but I also must say that I look at problems, all problems can be solved. It's how you do it and how effective is the solution. There's always more than one solution to solving a problem. It's which one works best or you feel works best, and is it effective?
So, yeah.
No, I mean, I think he's done a great job. I mean, he reminds me of this gal down on Adams Road. When
Maureen, yeah.
Maureen
really
did an
good
outstanding job. I mean,
So
Wayne,
keep it
kudos
going.
to you. I don't wanna take up any more time. I'm very comfortable with where we are on this, and,
Thank you.
let's carry on. I think you got most of what I was concerned with and what I was looking at the sidewalk. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know you didn't, get to the sidewalk.
She
Nor
was
did
in
I,
the
but-
spirit.
I know. But, after hearing everything, do you have any questions, concerns, thoughts?
No, that's above me. A lot of it between the wording and everything, I mean, I think he did a wonderful job. I mean, the way he described everything and stuff, but I would need definitely more time to be on that, to go over it more.
So
Sounds like you're pretty happy with what you heard, but as confused as I am with some of it, which I wrote my few notes down about. I want to look at, a little more information on the NOAA, for certain stuff, but yeah.
Sandra,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to
Don't
make
be
this go
sorry.
longer.
don't be sorry.
Well, I just want to go back to, I know you started this, about the, is it priority habitat that goes
Yep.
along the former Seaver Road. Could you just walk it back over to that and tell me what kind of protections we got there for that? I'm sorry.
Well, Wayne did say he didn't know exactly what was being protected.
Right, I remember that, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of concerned about that.
Yep. So I do appreciate the question. So what we're doing is, because this is coming down to this location here, this is, as you folks saw yesterday, this is gravel, continues to come down to this area in here. So basically what's going to happen is the stormwater is going to flow down into here, into the catch basins, get collected. Anything from here is going to continue downward. Now, as we come off the paved portion, the new paved portion of the roadway, we're going to have to marry to the existing gravel portion. So what we're going to do is we're going to slightly come up in elevation, come up just, maybe 1 to 2%, very shallow, to a point up in here, and then go from, excuse me, are you okay? Come on. Let's get that boy. There he is. There he is. He's got boxer mitt paws. So I bring him to the vet, and the vet said that they've never seen a cat with such big paws. They're monstrous. And he's got the thumbs. So he's got the thumbs. It's great. They're about gym-sized hands. So what we're proposing is that the pavement ends here for the driveway, and that's the high point. So any water that that's here, pitches back into here. This right here will continue to come down to this area where we transition into gravel right in here. Right, this location here, this red, is
Yeah.
the edge of what we're saying is a limit of work. We're not going beyond that because that's the jurisdiction of the Natural Heritage Endangered Species Program. Our dealings with them, and I don't know if you folks have dealt with them. I love dealing with them. Some commissions, commissions like it. Developers hate it. Engineers hate it. What's that?
When you say natural heritage or
Yeah.
endangered species?
No, natural heritage,
All of
they used to be decent to deal with, and now.
Right.
I
We
actually,
get,
you guys get,
we do pay attention when the word natural heritage comes out,
yeah,
only because you've got to respect the size of the club.
yeah.
And that's,
Well, I guess the answer to Sandra's question is, they're not really gonna be doing it, they're not gonna be
No.
doing anything within the estimated habitat, or
No.
priority habitat.
So it's the left of that line is the
Yeah,
protected? I mean,
Correct.
I wish I knew what was being protected, because I feel a little better about, you know?
well, you know
it's probably
what?
something we're not allowed to talk about.
In time, what you'll learn is that any time natural heritage says something like, well, we don't know what, we're not gonna tell you, they know, and we know.
Yeah, I could actually find that out.
We know.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
If
so
they
that-
want it to be broadcasted or verbally stated, they know, and we already know. Do
Yeah.
you know?
But I don't
No,
know.
no, because it could be something else.
Other
It
than what
could be,
we know.
it could,
Should we plan for the animal
yeah,
No,
it could be either one.
or both? We don't know.
So, but they're not, the proposed project is not,
It's not gonna touch it. So the
That's correct.
heavy equipment won't be close to that area?
No, no.
Far enough
The-
away?
the only time they're gonna be is blending the driveway, the
Yeah.
existing driveway into the new road.
And they won't get concerned.
But they're not to be in that area. Wayne, you did say you put something,
Was it in
ECV
place?
type 1.
yep, right here.
He put something there as a barrier.
Okay, good. So it's designated, in other
Mhm.
words. Okay, so someone will see the designated,
Mhm.
whatever you put in, and be mindful of that.
And through
Okay.
and through the chair, the only reason we didn't extend this further down is the logistics of it. This individual down at number 50 still has the right to pass and repass. We didn't want to obstruct that. What we're doing for him here is we're going to be removing a section of stone wall that exists out here. So stone wall comes through here. We're going to be taking some of that out and we're going to wrap it around and create a nice entrance for him in here. Repurpose that stone wall so it gives him a little bit of a nice entrance when he gets home. Like I said, at number 4 and Mr. Mulligan's, sensitive there as well. We can discuss that further when we're before the planning board. But again, looking at these abutters, part of our approach is they've been here, and I look whenever I do one of these projects, I look at this as if I were living there. Okay, and you gotta be sensitive to that. I mean, everybody's gonna have to live in the same area together. So you want to work to make sure that you don't, overturn what they've been accustomed to. I could have gone with more lots in here, but no, it wasn't the right thing to do. We've got 3 lots and we're fine with it.
Well, I thank you for being very sensitive to the natural needs of the area.
Did you have
Thank you.
anything, questions, Will?
Do I have any more questions? No. Well, I guess one last one is, like, there's a little buffer, is that 12 feet or something? Is that the number on there? Or did I read that wrong? I can't read it very well. How many feet protected area, like, they have to, I'm just
Buffer
curious.
for
Like
what?
a buffer for the natural heritage, like,
Oh,
area?
that's way up in the far corner.
Or are you
No, with
talking
the
what?
road, with the gravel,
Right there.
okay, so it's 12. Right around there.
No?
I can't read the numbers, some kind of numbers down there.
There's 12 in.
Well, the bottom line is, if
Oh,
it's
that's-
Far enough.
That's a 12-inch,
Oh, that's the size of a tree.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
12-inch maple. That's a 12-inch maple.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's a maple there.
I
yeah,
couldn't see
an
the,
endangered maple.
come on. But yes, thank you very much for being very sensitive.
You're
and
welcome.
not putting
You're
a
welcome.
Big giant subdivision You know, it's such a beautiful area.
If there was anything, if they were in a critical area, if they were in anything that natural heritage would be concerned with, no.
So,
It'd be all
Yeah.
over it.
So usually what I do in those cases, we're proactive when we do that. And that's what I do well with them. And it's because whenever you have a situation like this, you get a finding from them, get a determination as to whether or not it's going to be an issue. And what I find more often than not is if you're proactive, and they say this, rather than having somebody go in there, be reactive and look to, you know, overdo it with a skyscraper or something. You don't do it that way. You go in there, you mitigate if there are turtles. You can do things with stone walls and stuff to prevent the turtles from coming out onto the road. So there are a number of things, critter trails underneath the roadway, a number of things you can do. So you got to work, you got to understand the species when you're dealing with them. And anything that I'm unfamiliar with the gray hairs and the bald head, I've learned to meet a lot of people in my day. So I will, typically reach out to a wildlife expert. So like I said, in this case here, we're not working in their jurisdiction, so it's all the better.
Well, again, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm good.
What's the matter? We all don't want to keep talking down at this?
No,
and we want
because it's just such a comprehensive plan
to reel it in.
that Colby has to follow through with and, make sure everything's done.
It's
Yeah, my
I
concerns
don't-
have been addressed, so I feel good.
heavy lies the crown, huh, Colby?
So I make a motion that we issue a standard order of conditions.
Excuse me,
The notice said there
Chairman,
could be
there's-
public comment.
Mr. Chairman, you having a butter?
No, I am actually really sorry, the way we have the screen set up. Can you, state your name and your address, please?
Michael Siekman, I am beneficiary of the trust of Tom Milligan, who's the abutter. Tom is deceased.
No.
Okay?
Yes.
Is this something that just happened recently?
Did you know him?
No.
Oh, then,
I didn't know if it was something that,
do you have, a statement or a question or concern that?
We just found out. I'm not sure if this is something where abutters are supposed to get notice. We just found out late yesterday. We're not up to speed. Could you show me the plunge pool up in detail? Sorry for the informality. I didn't catch your last name, Wayne. I appreciate your comments about wanting to work with the neighbors,
No
especially
problem,
since
Michael.
the previous developer greeted the abutters by putting rocks across their driveway at one point. Could you zoom in on the plunge pool for me?
This guy here?
Yeah. So the overflow that comes down from the curbs that you're putting in.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No. Where you are is right. But when the water comes
Okay.
down there at the end, at the 430 foot topographic level, when this fills up or if it clogs up, that level just continues down into 40 Seaver Road there. Is there anything to prevent the water from going there, which is at the same level?
So
If you go northeast on your plan,
northeast.
that's all the same level there.
So are you, okay, I see what you're saying. So what's going to happen, and I do appreciate the question. So through the chair, the question is, if I understand you, Michael, you're saying, so it overtops at 430, and because we have the 430 contour coming up through here, your concern is that it's going to, because it's the same elevation, impact number 40.
Yeah, and relatedly, does it really need to be along the property line?
Yep. Good questions, and I appreciate it. So,
and I'd be happy to, your comment before, and there's the issue of the town having given the road back and then approved houses on this road. We'd be happy to interact directly. I understand you need to have a whole bunch more hearings going forward.
absolutely. So if I could, through the chair, if Colby could give Mr. Siekman my contact information.
Certainly.
We can further communicate and I can further answer questions because like you said, we're going to go before the planning board.
So, Mr. Siekman, if you could email Colby, his email address is on the town page. for conservation.
You can just give,
I don't know offhand. I know, yeah, but I don't know offhand. But if you could email him then Colby will email, no, please, hey,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it screws up the owl.
May I give it to him?
Yeah, sure, go ahead, we've already lost, like,
Okay, it's C Streeter, that's CStreeter @townsendma.gov. How copy? Oh, sorry, that's too military. Yeah, you get that?
Yes, thank you very much.
Mr.
Okay.
Chairman, I would like to, if it's okay, address Mr. Siegmund's
Yeah.
question.
No, no, and again, my apologies for not, asking if there was any public comment.
Well, I think it's because I've been long-winded and I just gab too much. So if that's all on me, Mr. Chairman. So basically, what to address the question. So you're right. I do appreciate Michael, your ability to read the contours. Not everybody can do that. Some of my own staff can't do it. So looking at this, so this is a 428 contour. So this in here is 2 feet lower than the 430. Okay, so when it comes in here and overtops and it hits the 430, which is the same contour as this guy in here, is Michael had pointed out. But what happens is once it hits the 430 and it overtops the 430, we have a 428 in here. So it quickly drops down 2 feet. So it drops down 2 feet, and that's a slope at about a 3-to-1. So 3 feet horizontally to 1 foot vertically. So essentially, if you're looking, if you can see my arm, it's doing this. That's your slope. So what happens is because it's coming in this direction, we could have 100 CFS of cubic feet per second of water coming through here. It's not going to want to come up to here because the topography continues to come this way. Once it leaves this 430, it drops to elevation 429, right in here, and then 428, and then it continues to 426, 4.2, and then 420 down in here. So it will not, and it will not come up here. So to your question as to why we captured it up at the beginning, whenever we do a project like this, we like to what we call shunt the off-site water away from areas that have to be mitigated. So if I were to take all of this runoff here and take it down to this and bring it into the system to discharge where it eventually goes anyway, which is the reason we have these pipes in here. If I were to take it and send it in this direction, I would have had to maybe double the size of this stormwater basin. That would have been more work within the Conservation Commission. So that basin would come around like this. And it isn't necessary if you've got water that comes down to this point anyway, and you're not changing the hydrology on it, there's no reason to mitigate for it. So basically what we did is we took the runoff that's coming down through here, captured it, slowed down the velocity in this very shallow channel, and then let it go into the plunge pool to overtop. So it goes down where it wants to go. It's where it currently goes. So it comes down to here, in through here, catches this area into the wetland system. From this one, it comes down here, catches this gutter, comes down through here, picks up this, and lo and behold, it comes down into the wetland system. So it does the same thing, but what it does is it diverts the water rather than running it through the site. We shunt it around the site so that we don't have to mitigate for it and double and triple size the basin that's down below. And like I said, Michael, in terms of the impacts to the upgradient property, like I said, your 430 contour is right here. It's being picked up right here, and now you have the 428 that's here. It's going to hit that 428 much more quickly than it's going to want to head off in this direction. I hope I explained that clearly.
Yeah, I think it might be more productive if we talk in person, like that could get logged or
sure, absolutely.
I do appreciate the discussion, the possibility of talking.
Absolutely.
Try to make
By
sure
all
it
means,
doesn't.
through the chair, Michael, give me a call.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions, Michael?
Not for now on the stormwater, but thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is slippery slope,
Yep.
because we're not stormwater.
And it was a legit question, and I just was concerned if somebody had just recently passed away, if that would
I know.
change what is going on here.
Colby, what are your thoughts on this? I'm comfortable with this based on the plans and, site, our two commissioners that they make the site walk.
Okay, yep, the NOI is very thorough and complete, the NOI application, I should say. It's a very well thought out
Yeah.
process for the stormwater, proceed through this, development, and which will be covered by the planning board or even more thoroughly. It's, the stormwater permit, there's a lot of, components to it and requirements for documentation, so they are gonna be very robust in their
Robust.
you know, yeah, in their,
So
their application.
on the conservation side of things, it's minimal impact.
Very minimal, yeah, I think he's, done a very good job to keep any detriment to the wetland at a minimum.
Stay in the spirit of the, WPA.
And along with how we make note of, he was gonna remove all that sediment out of those two, those locations.
So I'm
We
gonna,
don't see a lot of contractors do stuff like that. That's all, you know.
I'm gonna make a motion that we, issue a, order of conditions for Zero Seaver Road, DEP file 308-0729. Make sure no one else wants to talk. TWB 2026-004. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote starting with
said yes.
James DeRoyan, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Pat General, yes.
Sandra Lord, yes.
Wayne, this plan is thorough, it's comprehensive, it's complex, as Mike said, but it's very well thought out, and I think it's the best solution for this parcel. And we thank you for your time and effort you put into this.
Oh, I thank you, Mr. Chairman. I actually hope to work in town some more at some point. This will be more of what you see. And I think, as I said to the folks in the field yesterday, I still sit on a board in my town for 26 years, and then prior to that, the 7 years with the Concom. And I think when you're sitting on your side of the table, on the permitting side, I think you get a better appreciation, of first of all, being volunteers in what's a thankless job. It is a job, and it's thankless. It's thankless. People don't appreciate what you do. I know my own wife of almost 40 years. She doesn't get it. She's pretty thankless about it. She doesn't get it. And the only reason I'm not sitting on the Conservation Commission is she has threatened to divorce me if I go back, because it was time consuming for me, very time consuming. So I might jump on it then. That might give me incentive.
With that said, I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing for Zero Seaver Road, DEP number 308-0729, TWB 2026-004.
I'll second that.
Roll call vote starting with
said yes.
James DeRoyan, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Pat General, yes.
Sandra Lord, yes.
Thank you, Wayne, for your time.
Thank you, folks. Much appreciated. Everybody stay safe and healthy, and hopefully we get to see each other soon again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks, Wayne.
Bye-bye.
That's from the chairman number 2.
You're the vice chair anyways.
No, I don't wanna be vice chair, I wanna be.
2.4, 41 Brookline Street.
That's right, there's more.
I worked for Wayne before.
I'm gonna get a copy of those plans. I wanna see what he did in the drainage.
Request for determination of applicability,
Real good presentation up there.
RDA
Real
20,
good.
TWB 2026-005, approximately 8:30 PM. Applicant Jamie Baker proposes a project of replacing a septic system within the riverfront area.
Hold on.
I'm gonna read the legal first.
Colby, did you have a site one?
No, we did not have a sidewalk. I was, at the end, it was, scheduling, it was a little unclear if we were gonna make the deadline. But I did I went out there today and took pictures. It's a small area, you can get it ready.
Forward just like Dinwiddie?
You can pretty much see the whole property from Google Maps if you want to pull it up.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna read the legal ad, pursuant to the Mass WPA, Townsend Wetland bylaws, Townsend Concom will hold a hearing, on March 11th, 2026 at approximately 8:30 PM. The hearing will be held virtually via Zoom and in person at Town Hall on an RDA filed with, Concom by Jamie Baker as TWB 2026-005. The property is located at 41 Brookline Street, map parcel ID 5257-0. The proposed project is for the replacement of a septic system within a riverfront area. Parties wishing to speak in support of or in opposition to this application may do so at the meeting or in writing prior to the meeting. Copies of this application are available for review at Town Hall during business hours. You don't mind introducing yourself? And
My name is Josh Joslin. I'm with Graz Engineering, representing Jamie Baker, who's going to be doing the installation of the septic. And it's Michael and Mary Berry are the owners of 41 Brookline
And
Street.
did you say Graza?
Graz,
Yeah, they
G-R-A-Z.
Out of Fitzwater?
yeah, they did the survey on the project that you just heard.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, I've been to that project a few times. But anyways.
Ah.
So basically what we have here is an existing 3-bedroom house with a failed septic system. And this is Brookline Street here and Smith Street here. So it's right on the corner of Brookline and Smith Street. The existing plumbing comes out right here into a leach field that exists right in this area here. And we're here requesting a determination of applicability for the Wetlands Protection Act for a perennial stream that's located on the opposite side of Brookline Street. And the reason we're here for the RDA instead of the NOI is because we believe that we're going to have no effect on this wetland, as all of the runoff that comes off this site empties into a catch basin that's right on the corner and runs up to another catch basin here that eventually feeds that stream. So there's no runoff going into the stream from our site. So basically we are getting a little bit closer to that wetland, and the reason is to get away from the water line that's right here. I believe right now there's components of the system that are actually over that water line, so we're working to meet Board of Health setbacks from that water line, and basically it's just a very tight site, and this is the best location for that septic system. And then there is some mapped zone AE on this site that kind of goes right along the edge, and actually I think it was about 10 years ago, we did a flood study on this site to create a LOMA map for the structure. And so that's a survey flood line from a field survey. And this system is all sand and gravel from the test pit, so it's in the ground, so we're not having any effect on that floodplain.
He has the little bridge that brings him onto his property.
No, there's a driveway off Smith Street right here. So it's right on the corner of Smith and Brookline Street. I don't believe there's a bridge.
What were the Board of Health comments?
I'm actually not sure exactly what the Board of Health comments were. I know that there was One of the comments was that we had this designed as a 4-bedroom house because that's what the tax card said. And then it came to our attention that the previous approval was for a 3-bedroom house, so that we had to go back and limit our design to a 3-bedroom house. So we changed it over from a geomat system to a pipe and stone system, because we could use a pipe and stone, so it didn't need to be as big at that point.
Huh.
As far as their other comments, one of the comments was to get the interdepartmental form, which is basically coming through you guys and go through the tax assessor's office. And that, we don't have Board of Health approval yet, but we do have that meeting on the 23rd.
No, our next meeting's 25th, so
Plan through?
I think that'd be the best thing to do.
Yeah, because we're running short on the, and not to cut you short or anything, but if it hasn't gone through the Board of Health, not, no, that we're wasting any time, but
And then we can do a drive-by.
I would like to take a peek. For some reason, I'm drawing a blanket on this little house on it, and it's tiny. I mean,
Yeah.
While you're here, though,
it's like
while he's here, is there anything, obviously, it looks like everything will be disposed of or trucked out while they're doing the work.
There's no
It's gonna
No
have to be,
stockpile.
yeah.
There's just no-
It's too small.
possible
Right.
area other than put it out on Brookline Street and just bring the cars around.
Mike, what do you got? I know you gotta have something. You could fight all night, but these things that good.
Well, he's
I'm
obviously
trying.
disappointed with no cover in this. But
He thinks you're being serious.
I am, I like it too. Tiny.
You gonna share pictures while you're coming up with questions?
On the tiny house, tiny lot?
Is there any erosion control proposed?
We're not proposing any just because everything's flowing into
I
that,
got it.
that catch basin, which does provide some sediment.
So is there a silt sack proposed?
We could do a silt sack, I guess. We would probably need to touch base with DPW because that's in the town right away. Like if we were to do a curtain within that
Yeah.
catch basin, or we could do a silt sack around, right on our property, right on that corner.
I think you should probably include that.
Yeah. As soon as you see the little piece, all of a sudden you know just what you're looking at, that, you know, and just some.
Oh, that house.
Oh, right?
Sorry.
Live here.
So new terminology, silt sack?
Silt sack is what you put into a catch basin, and it's held up by pieces of rebar, and it catches any sediment that may flow into it.
That makes sense.
And then it gets so gone off, we have you usually poke a hole in it.
Like a coffee filter.
Yes.
That's real technical terminology. Well, I'm used to that.
Well, the best way to describe it.
It is.
Well, it's nice to have a good analogy.
I use instinct.
So
Rebar,
I think
solid. That was
something-
solid, Mike.
there, because, I believe most of our catch basins, go to
Yeah.
body of water, so.
Yeah, that's,
I think adding that and then, just a small detail for it, anyone else?
What are we looking at the legend here?
Oh, hold on, Mike's got something.
Oh, here it is, right.
And then Colby, do you have anything to add or thoughts?
So it's a RDA, so they don't put it on their, it doesn't come up on the public website. But, in conversation with the circuit rider, she had some questions for it, and I emailed Trevor back and forth, with this. Their first question was if there was an expansion of the original system, and, that was addressed because it's 3-bedroom system now, and if anything, it's a reduction of the system. They were concerned if it was gonna be closer to the wetland resource area, and Trevor said that, you know, this is the only allowable place for it to go. And They were concerned about it being, bordering land subject to flooding.
Is this the circuit rider that had these questions?
Yeah, and then, but then Trevor, is that your supervisor or?
He's my coworker.
Coworker?
Yeah.
He addressed him in his email. And the answer to that is that the entire system is being proposed in the ground. It will not result in an increase of grade in the area. Therefore, no flood storage will be lost as a result of the construction.
Because they see septic, it must mean a mound.
Right, yeah. We've had people, I forget who the commenter was, but they wanted us to do a full flood study on, one of the lakes in Ashburnham for a septic upgrade.
Doesn't surprise me anymore.
Yeah.
It really doesn't, like. Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me either.
Same with the floodplain designations now. Was that it, Colby, for the questions, or that
That's
she
it.
had?
Yep.
So they all were addressed. So,
We have no public comments or anything, do we, on this?
no, not that we know of.
Okay.
Thank you for reminding us, though. There's no one else on there. So I think add the sediment control at the corner of the lot. And then just make sure Board of Health is all set.
Yeah.
And I motion to continue this to March
So
25th.
you guys
28th or 25th.
you don't make determinations until Board of Health, that's typical, or?
We kind of got.
Just say we had a
It's
bad.
Screwed over.
It's
couple
different
meetings
than
ago.
other towns, so like, we do a lot in Ashby,
Yeah,
and they're
the Wild West.
They refuse to approve at a Board of Health meeting without conservation approval.
Really?
So we've been going,
So it's a horse cart battle, huh?
yeah, so that's why I thought, that's like, we didn't go to the Board of Health meeting last night because we thought we had to come through conservation first.
Oh,
Well, no, that's fine. It could be however you feel or however you think.
right. But
Hold on, I'm gonna rescind that. I retract that.
It is in the bylaw that if any changes occur to the system, it's their responsibility to inform us.
Yeah. Because it's cut and dry, I guess pending that you add
you wanna run?
the sediment control in the corner. Right.
Go ahead. I'm okay.
But, I'm gonna start over. Thank God no one seconded that. Jesus.
Wait a minute, I just got lost.
Good. I just reset the GPS.
Right.
Yeah.
Comment,
I've got-
we're gonna pull the trigger on this one.
This is such a cut and dry system. It's bordered on two sides by a road.
Okay. So you're saying that we don't really need to wait for Board of Health? or-
It depends on how we feel on them.
But there's no wiggle room anywhere.
No, we're maxed out, we're 7.5 feet from the foundation.
7.5 feet from foundation?
Yep. And then we're 5.8 feet from the property lines.
This isn't like the one where we had that issue where there's wetlands right there.
Yeah, okay,
The wetlands are across the street.
right, no, that's what I thought too when you was talking about it.
So,
Look at that.
So if you think it's pretty cut and dry and straightforward,
From the corner.
I'm good with what you guys say.
it's been a while since we've done one.
It is a -3?
So I make a motion that we issue a -3 determination for the RDA at 41 Brookline Street. Second,
Second that.
with a, hold on, with a standard order of conditions or whatever, I can't think now. My brain's mush.
Plus the
Standard
silt
order
sock.
of,
Plus the silt sock, right?
With, yeah, plus, standard order condition, or standard conditions, with the addition of, silt sack or sedimentation barrier to this.
Sedimentation barrier or silt sack, either one of the two.
So
We
it
can
still
get
gets
that.
continued then?
Nope.
Oh, we
No.
don't get it continued, okay.
Mike seconded, right?
That's why
Okay.
he stopped and said, let's rethink this,
Okay, that's what I
let's
thought,
get
I
this
just
done.
wanted to be on
I
the same
second
page.
it.
Oh, Pat seconded, sorry, Pat seconded.
That's okay.
Right at the
We-
last,
See,
I thought I had the
10
second.
o'clock breaks on overtime here.
I know, I gotta be at the hospital for 6:30 for an MRI, so let's go.
No. So,
I
we
hate
have a
that.
second roll call vote starting with
Mike Clark
Mike.
said yes.
James Duran, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Oh, Totally, yes.
Sandra Lord, yes.
Thank you. And,
Thank you.
no, that was,
Yeah, it's just different than other, I know.
it is, and Sandra's concern, is our concern too with, you know, but it's a different circumstance here. This is
Right.
surrounded by
Yeah.
hard stuff, so.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure that, you know what I'm saying?
You're
'Cause
fine,
I-
everything is fine. Right? We're not, we're all enjoying ourselves here.
Yeah,
No, none of us appreciated what happened at that meeting on 10 West Elm. That was, I can see how you get,
a little gun shy now, I guess you could say, I
Yeah,
guess that's the expression.
have faith in your
The,
engineers.
representative to the applicant did a good job advocating because,
Yeah.
3.1, Townsend Historic Society, Josh Snaith is here with Frank. Discussion about upcoming plans to perform restorative work on the gristmill and Cooperage buildings, permit type to be discussed if needed.
If I hang out with the historical society, I don't have to abstain, do I?
You should, or at least, are you
member?
paperwork?
Are you a member or?
Isn't everybody a member?
I'm a member,
Yeah, come on.
but I also can be objective too. I mean,
Just because it's 10 o'clock doesn't mean that it hasn't stopped.
If I may, James, this is a discussion.
It is.
No votes are being
Very-
taken. We're looking for feedback from the commission as to how to proceed with permitting for work at the grist mill.
Stealing my thunder.
I'm sorry, Cole. No, I've been staying quiet. So the Townsend Historic Commission has, plans to, and correct me wherever I step wrong, to repair the siding on the grist mill.
That's our next step.
Yeah, next step is to repair the siding on the grist mill. And some of that is going to involve the placement of scaffolding within, so all of that siding work is going to be within jurisdiction of Conservation Commission, because they're on the Squanicook River there. Part of that is going to require the placement of scaffolding in the Squanicook River, which they have done in the past.
What year did they do
This isn't
that?
something new.
Anytime it gets painted, we have to set stuff up.
What year was that?
You wanna go back when the fire department used to do it for us?
We don't have to.
That's-
So-
Back in the 80s. So now-
No, yeah, stay out of that one.
What?
So Townsend Historic came to me, asking about permitting. I had concerns, given that, we were gonna be within your jurisdiction. I also kind of read through chapter 91 regulations. I think because the scaffolding it's not a temporary, it doesn't fall under their definition of a temporary structure, because that seems to be like a temporary dock that you seasonally put in and out, is how I read their definition of a temporary structure. So this would be scaffolding just put in place specifically for the work on the siding. And it's not gonna remain permanently. They're not asking to put scaffolding in there for a boardwalk that's, seasonal to walk over the river. It's specifically for this task.
We can tell people that though.
Fire them up.
Sorry.
So,
But consider also has to happen with the grist mill, because the south side there is also.
That's a separate parcel.
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it is.
what I'm looking for my client is the board's feeling as to whether they would like to see an RDA for this or a full notice of intent.
I
Yeah,
don't.
you're into territory we've never touched in terms of scaffolding.
Yeah, but where has
it
it been that we would have ever expected somebody to come in front of us for
So-
construction?
Have you, no, and you obviously reviewed chapter 91, is there anything in the WPA that, you know, it's not like you're putting, pile drivers, piles into the, you know, where to put, like, huge scaffolding.
All temporary.
Well, those are temporary too, but you still have that.
This is pretty heavy old scaffolding.
We're not driving sheeting, we're not doing a coffer dam, we're not doing anything that would impact the flow of the river. We just happen to be painting within the jurisdiction of the conservation.
Are you, now you're painting or you're stripping?
Repairing
That's what
siding
my
and
sister-
painting.
Oh, well, that was my husband.
On some of the sides, we're removing some of the siding, but it's a repair and.
Yeah, so
Eventually, we're painting it.
it's not gonna just be one guy up there, so this stuff has to be. Colby, were you able to dig into any of this?
No, I didn't think about scaffolding.
I don't think it's anything to.
No, it does.
I'm wondering if this is something that Colby can look into and we can talk about it next meeting. Cause
No,
Cause we're all past up at times.
I get where, yeah,
And we don't almost have any.
to do diligence, shall we say.
Start on the siding next week.
Oh,
The
geez.
river side is not till,
I
when
don't,
the water is low.
we're getting rushed into something.
I can call and ask someone.
You can do an RDA with special conditions. Might be too tired right now.
No,
That's all right.
because they came to look for guidance, and
Could you explain what's the two things that we're looking at here? So I can,
an RDA and
and
a.
full
Yeah,
notice of
so-
full-
So we're looking for guidance from the commission as to whether this would fall within a request for determination of applicability, like that septic system that just came through, there's kind of a lower burden of permitting and documentation
okay,
for the work, or a full notice of intent submittal, which
But there's no, you're not treating, you're not filling, it's
Right.
all temporary.
exactly, yeah.
RDA would be even more than enough.
Right, the only thing that could, if there's a heavy storm and water, you know, if debris gets hung up on them, but how often do you see stuff, you know, fall over the dam?
And that's where we would, the condition of the notice of intent could specify, of the RDA could specify when this work can be done, which is, they wanna do it when the river is low. You would want the work done when the river is low.
Right.
But because it's, you know, the concern of construction debris.
No, I mean, that's like when they wanted to do those, the bridges, those little, they wanted to put nets underneath, they wanted to put a.
They put a tarp in,
Right.
I know, I had to take.
So this is what we're looking at, that on the water side, or we gonna look for,
And that was difficult because the water got high and
and it
it
started
just
getting.
wasn't the right way to do it.
Yeah,
This is different because you've got not just beams you're taking out or adding, you're taking siding down, which is small splinter crap. And then, or sanding or chipping.
The scaffolding would be done by a professional company.
No, I'm talking the siding of the debris that.
Yeah, and they would also be putting netting down to catch.
right, because we're gonna have to look at, if it's old siding, it's old paint tells us what.
lead. That's what I was just thinking
I
of when
wasn't
you were
gonna
say.
say that word, but I'm just saying.
Well,
it could be
that's what I was
some
thinking about it when you were talking
contaminated
about it.
Maybe a
material.
certified letter doing the work.
It is.
But how do we do?
Okay. Now,
Obvious. Oh yeah, no. It's.
so it's.
But how do we
it's a
go about
de-letting?
doing this?
It's
What's-
a company that's coming in and
But how
doing the
long is
de-letting,
it,
John?
is it gonna have to
That's
be,
what it's under,
the bases, the
Yeah,
footings
like
are
a-
actually gonna be in the water?
No, well, you both had good questions and they're both valid.
Mhm.
Jimmy, you were halfway through. Well, no, what?
I wanted to know if they're stripping the siding in old house building. The worst that I would be concerned with is any of that paint dropping into the river.
Right.
That's our biggest issue of leaching. Any more, we should be concerned with it getting onto the ground and all around there.
Right.
But you just eased my concerns when you said there's a production company coming in to do the removal of such. So this staging is for their ability to work?
They'll be doing on multiple sides of the building. We're starting with the east, north, and west sides, and then some are the south side, which was the water side.
Yeah.
When they're doing around the building, obviously they put down a protective layer,
For
wrap
everything.
up.
Yeah, it's gonna
goes
look.
in the proper way. We get certificates. So.
Yeah,
Mike, what was your,
So when they're doing the side that's on the river, the footings will actually be in the water?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly if they're gonna be using pipe staging or pole staging, but they will be sitting, the feet will be in the water.
And for how long would they be in the water?
yeah,
Couple weeks.
A week?
Probably 2
no,
weeks.
I would say a month, just be.
Be safe.
Yeah,
It would be permanent for a month, then take 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay.
Then get permanent for 2 weeks and then take 3.
And you're looking to go on it pretty soon?
The other sides, not the river side.
Okay, good. Cause you know, this is not the best time to go riverside.
No.
Spring's coming and, you
you're
know.
gonna live a life on the ledge.
I do have a concern because I want to play devil's advocate here because and listen, and I was living in a place where it's not lead, but asbestos was being removed and they were supposed to do everything. And it's like, as someone who knows really nothing about asbestos removal, I knew what they were doing was incorrect. So I don't know, I just devil's advocate. I mean, can someone check up on them as they do it? Because I'm really concerned about this lead paint.
So I would think that our filing to the commission would cover the scaffolding. We would discuss who is doing the work, what their credentials are, how that process is going to be happening.
Okay.
We could certainly include inspections.
Yeah, and you can bill a latting too, where it gets shipped.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that sounds good.
Which is all things that I could document in our RDA.
And how can we do it for both? For the grist mill and the cooperage?
If you do 2 separate, one for each address.
I don't know, cause
Technically,
we
because
did it for along Lock Brook, where it was 2 separate addresses together for,
Agriculture.
well, not, it was.
So the RDA,
Invasive
40
management.
Are they the same deed?
Is there, yeah,
Is there any?
there are deeds, and I don't know.
I know.
I think I don't know if they're the same because they came from the Spaldings, I don't know if they're same deeds or not.
Okay, so I guess if you're gonna do it though, as chair, I'd like to do it in one meeting,
Yeah.
even if it's 2 separate.
So, we'll submit 2 RDAs, one for each property, and a lot of the information would be the same.
So some of the things that you wanna include though is, drawings of where the staging is going to be placed and details of how it's gonna be, placed in the river.
Yep.
I'm surprised it doesn't fall into one category under the historic society properties.
And what?
I wish it.
Figure
done.
Would it be possible
Are you
to,
thinking about the fee? Or just
Huh?
waive a fee?
No, whatever the standard fee is.
Okay.
You should waive the fee, cause.
We're not waiving the fee. At least they're coming in front of us. Okay, I get it.
For the second one.
So we're talking about inspections too, though, is there,
That would be in our, conditions.
okay,
would it be possible to do an would it be simpler, still in our jurisdiction, to do the RDA for the 3 sides that don't involve the staging? While we investigate to find out if we do have the authority to do that one?
I don't think they're not ground engagement, so that really isn't, besides that, don't involve that, is within our jurisdiction.
Even though it's within the,
They're
200 feet.
performing maintenance on a structure,
oh,
but when they start putting staging for the water.
Once it touches water, that does change it. Gets their attentions. God, I can't keep
Yeah, so,
When you do the RDA, just cover the whole structure. And you're covered.
okay.
We understand the schedule, but
It will be for the property. We'll submit 2 RDAs, 1 for each property.
All right, but one
can you
idea,
do it before?
right?
But hold on, there's two things going on.
I don't think we
No,
have
Craig.
anything to do with an NOI.
No, is
RDA.
everyone?
I would like to think that we could spare them the expense of an NOI.
I don't see the need, this is
Yeah.
temporary.
Because it just gets way more involved.
Yeah.
Is it all
than what an
granite?
RDA
How-
does for us.
The cooperage is granite down at the bottom, right?
Yes,
What about the,
this one was granted as well.
make sure you note that.
You're saying the foundation.
Oh, so.
Well, no, what the staging's gonna be set on.
On the cooperage, it's going to be on granite. There's all sorts of.
Right.
38 storm came through, broken granite there. The, gristmill, if you do it like in late summer, you're gonna be on dry ground. The river's back.
But you're looking at protecting the stream bed. Yes.
You know they're gonna say something about
They,
it.
Who's they?
who's that? Who?
The state.
Oh. They.
Colby will get a phone call or an email.
So we'll, I'll have information in that talking about,
Pay to have somebody.
And I assume that
Because we
the
want
company
it.
you're using for staging has done this before in rivers and water bodies.
Okay.
That's the other part, is making sure that they've done their experience contract.
Check
Yeah,
to
it's
see
Vanguard,
if
so
they
they-
do
they're
this.
staging.
Yeah, in water.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I don't want it to be, oh, this was our first one doing it.
Right.
But
But you know as well.
Mike, hold on, we've gone off the
Okay,
rails.
this will be the last thing. So you're pretty sure, typical year, hard to predict, that when you would do this, the footings might not necessarily be in the water?
For
The
the,
staging footings?
there's always little puddles of water
Yeah.
at the cooperage. You know, the little puddle, there'll be rocks that will be sand.
Right.
But there's water there, I'm not gonna say there.
But it's the stream
Won't be
that-
coming over the dam, you know, coming up through. On the grist mill though, it's a little bit higher. Where the tail race comes out, so there's probably less than 10 feet of ground, which at this point here, it's underwater.
Yeah.
But when the river goes down,
So I guess part of this,
maybe 10 feet.
again,
Whether the water's
Some sort
there or
of-
not.
construction management plan
Water
on
is
how
there.
material's gonna get brought in, brought out,
That's
or
how
the
that
construction
works.
debris brought out. Just so that all your
Yeah.
bases are covered.
Yeah, because construction debris is wrapped each day and shipped out.
Yeah, everything is taped up and sent to the ticket.
Right.
Does it, it actually,
I'm assuming there's some kind of procedure in the contract that you have with the lead paint people.
oh yeah,
Huh,
it's very stringent
you got me
too.
going
Could
on
be a
that one.
procedure.
So let's review that and we'll include any pertinent information in the application.
I'm gonna say something like that. We had a house before we moved out this way. They told us we had lead paint. And they said you have to pay $9,000 to have the lead paint removed. And we couldn't hire anybody. It was up to the people who were buying the house to have it removed. They got the money, they never had it removed. So you have to be really careful and stuff because it could come back and bite you again.
Which is why we'll be getting all the bill of lading and all that proper procedure. I've been deposed in similar situations where a contractor didn't do that, so I'm pretty careful about that.
Ooh,
Yeah, it
That's
really
best as
pissed
water
me
main.
off.
oh, you got
Wow.
those.
It was not fun.
Ooh, it's just an exercise.
The only other point of it is we'll be working one wall at a time. We're not stripping the whole building and it's one wall at a time.
The contractor probably doesn't wanna do it any other way either.
Like to be able
Are
to-
you gonna start to finish one wall at a time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the plan.
There's no asbestos to be worried about, is there in any of this?
There's no asbestos, no building.
Okay.
Yeah,
Frank, so
I'm
you're gonna join the historical society with us? It's a
I
lot of fun.
don't live in Townsend.
Oh my god, this is a marathon. This is like, I think a record for tonight. Almost as long as select board meeting.
Thank you, I think we have our.
Just one
I was
question.
gonna say that. Thanks, guys. You're doing a great job, though. Any one of you could be selectman now.
I think he's.
Why not?
Question here.
Oh, where?
I was just curious.
Oh, yeah.
Can we begin on one wall or do we have to wait a period? What's, I don't wanna get in trouble here.
Oh, that's a good question.
Once you get the permit, the RDA permit, God, it doesn't matter how many walls you do at once. I mean,
Yeah.
I
just
don't
trying to
think
figure out
so.
When I can tell them to start.
So, start as far away from the water as you can, obviously, but, no, it's, you're vertical, it's maintenance.
Right.
Colby,
Offered, for the work they started on now, an administrative approval.
yes,
Okay.
simply, this is the fine line that we have to, follow of, this is maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
You're not building anything, you're not adding on anything, you're performing normal business, or building maintenance.
It's just
If
has
you
that
want an
one little
administrative
factor.
approval, which I'm not gonna discourage, but he's not gonna tell you no. It's gonna be better to get that signature, and then just make sure you state what size.
Okay. We can,
I encourage you.
we can get something pulled together. Great, perfect, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
appreciate your due
administrative
diligence
approval
with the
you can
lead
do,
paint.
Josh. I don't know when Colby's in next, if he's in tomorrow or Friday, but, that part, yes, yeah. But for Frank's part,
Then we have to follow through the rest of this, so we get the whole thing taken care of. Okay.
Yeah.
and then that way there's,
Was this part of the stuff that I would have been discussing at that Zoom meeting I did?
maybe, Jimmy, I'd like to.
No, this has been very headache.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Frank.
Bye, thank you.
So
You'll be happy to know.
they're on camera, just be careful.
You just got a brand new knee.
I know, you are actually walking fine, less than a month, right?
5 weeks.
5 weeks, yeah.
Modern science. Don't watch me fall on my face.
Be
Take
careful.
the elevator.
I'm gonna send out the to-do list. That's the way we're gonna deal with the meeting.
Is that?
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you.
joining us.
Thanks, Jacques. For 5 weeks, happened.
Now you can get yours done.
I don't want to get my knees done.
I've seen some people like in rehab for like weeks and weeks and weeks. You still really good.
They do it, it goes quick now.
They make, that's why I don't want to do it. I'm waiting for another couple, 4 or 5 weeks. You can take a pill. You don't have to have surgery. Like these, you'd have to eat all of them and your knees all fixed. That's cool. I'll do that.
So 4.1, I really shouldn't be doing this, Pat, because you haven't submitted anything. But,
It's up to you, I don't care.
no,
I mean,
you've decided to,
I told you.
you've decided to
do it.
retire? Or you wanna stay?
I mean, I'll come and pick you up. When you have a meeting, I will come. I will get you. I won't take the truck either.
I mean, like, but you have to understand, like, last time I didn't come to a meeting because I was getting in an ambulance.
I know, I
You
got,
know,
I got the call.
So, I can't say yes. I mean, I'd like to stay because I do enjoy it and and everything, and I'm learning a lot. But, I don't want to interfere with you guys and all the,
Please stay,
going ahead
please stay.
and stuff. So,
Take to the 28th, think about it. See how your shoulder feels, see how the MRI goes. And
Right.
like I said, if you need a ride, I don't have a
yeah, because
problem.
I'm gonna be out a while, they said, with the arm.
Right.
So,
So, no matter what, you at least,
Put it off, and if it gets worse where I know I'm not definitely gonna be able to come back, I'll put a note in.
we
Let's put it that
wish
way.
you the best of luck, Pat.
Thank you, he says it's gonna be.
We
really
get
tough.
worried when you don't come. I have
actually
to
do.
I have to tell Jimmy, calm down, it's okay.
Well, it's, you gotta look at the Scooby snack aspect
No.
also with the.
You're part, you're part,
We know.
you're
you know.
part of the team, Pat.
Right. That's
But
truly
health is
what it
important
is.
too, so,
Right,
um,
so you do what's best for you, but
With
People and I
that,
would like to have you here.
Cause I'm gonna go to Haywood, I'm not going back to Leominster.
Oh, come on,
Wait.
they've got a few
Okay.
clicks going on, don't worry, they're working them out. It's
items for
terrible.
discussion at the next meeting, there's an update on the CPA and on the, conservation restriction for Squancook Meadows. We have we have a continuation for 2.1, which is 198 North End Road.
2.1?
Yeah. Is there anything else anyone wants to add? Well,
Almost 10:30.
stamp it, I think so we beat the record,
Oh,
So it's not, it's
I make a-
10:22 right now?
yes.
make a motion to adjourn at 10:22 PM. Is there a second?
See, Lori,
Second.
we have late meetings too, you know.
Oh, she said something. Pat seconded.
I know, I've been with you the whole time, and I did the Friends of the Library before that. And every single day, I know it's like crazy, but yesterday we started at 4 and we ended at 9, which was one of our earliest meetings, but it was 5 hours instead of 7 to 10.
And you guys are always going into executive and.
That's why I don't. Roll call.
Any
vote
one
for
of
it.
you are happy, are, more than welcome to take out papers when we get 2 more and have all the experiences that I've gotten to have.
Mike,
Oh, God.
huh?
I did say Mike Potts said yes.
Jimmy,
Yeah, Mike Podsek said, yes for selectmen.
okay. Jimmy,
Yes, James Byrne, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Jamal, yes.
Sandra Lloyd.
Thank you, everyone.